What's up, guys and gals? Uh, hmm. Okay. What's good? So, Lakeside, I will do your video today. But from now on, videos that long, it's gonna require more than $2, or at the very least, you're gonna have to be a patron, dog, because I can't just like always willy-nilly do 45 to an hour long videos. You know what I mean? So I'll do this one because the donation's already in there, and I already said I would. But for future reference, yeah, that's hour-long videos are wild, man. Remember back in the day where I gave y'all like a 10-minute thing? Somehow it ballooned. Gonna have to bring it back down because it's crazy. It used to be 10. But what it is, bro, is I'm nice to somebody, right? I'll be nice to one person, and then like 30 other people are like, I want an hour-long request, and I can't keep doing that. No. So. Yeah, cat, I can't keep giving benefits of the doubt. So like either you're a patron or like, nah. Alright. Lakeside, we were gonna do yours. Terminated, we were gonna do yours. No, it's 10. Well, Cookie Monster, is that you? Did you change your name? Hot Red Tiger? Because I still remember that profile picture. The little cookie man. Just got a used car. Had to buy one because my last car had broken a cylinder head. And they don't make that kind of car anymore. Oh shit. A 2001 Buick LeSabre. Yeah, you're probably right. They probably don't make that anymore. Holy. Oh, it's Don. Thought you were Cookie Monster. Yeah, I had to go get a haircut today, bro. Not to impress anybody, just more for my own sanity. I can only look like a hobo for so long, and then I'm just like, okay, I gotta fix it. I gotta fix it. I try to go as long as I can without getting a haircut, but there's just times where I'm just like, gotta fucking go. And not to mention, it's 10,000 degrees outside. I had to at least get rid of half my hair. Ain't no way. Fuck around and pass out inside the house. Close this. Or there's a new video by Fat Electrician that I want to do, and there's a new video by Angry Cops, but the Angry Cops video can wait. This Fat Electrician video's 40 minutes. I should have gone live earlier today, but I was out running errands, dude. I was out most of the day. Most of the day, I was out. And where I went, very congested. A lot of traffic, a lot of people. Because where I get my haircut is, there's a lot of people. It's like inside of a mall. And the mall was packed. The food court was packed. The parking lot was packed. People everywhere. And mind you, it's hot as hell. Man, I'm sitting there thinking to myself, like, why are y'all not inside? It's Saturday. It's too hot to do anything. But nah, everyone was out, dude. Luckily, I got to be first in line when I went and got my haircut, so. I wanted to do some army time stuff and see what's new there, but since the videos that we have to watch today are so long, I'm just gonna... We're not even gonna do that. We're just gonna have to skip that. You spent $600 on a packing list for a field. Lakeside, you're in the service, right? There's no way in goddamn hell I would spend a nickel for a FTX. You want me to have what's on that packing list, motherfucker? A CIF better have given it to me. Marines? Never mind. Y'all got the least funding. For everything. I think. Except for the uniforms. Matter of fact, I think that's where most of the money goes. Y'all's bomb-ass uniforms, really. Other than that, y'all don't get much else. You gotta come out of pocket for a field exercise, bro? For real? YouTube is weird. First they show the usernames, now they show the Gmail names. What the hell? Oh, so you didn't... Wow, that's weird. If I were you, I would change that, and I would be, like, slightly upset. Because, yeah, my email is my real name. And I don't think it's on my channel, but, like, I don't want everyone seeing, you know what I mean? Like, alright. What was it called, Lakeside? Katai, what's good? I don't know if I saw you or not. Hello. Roth, what up? I'm not completely against the idea either. I still try to keep my videos like that. Gives room for... Oh, okay. That's what it was. Mysterious, what's good? Oh, you know what? Just by looking at the thumbnail, what this really does remind me of, it reminds me of I'll watch documentaries, man, but not too often will I watch like actual documentaries, because sometimes they can be they can become a little bit too much for me. It's one thing watching a documentary with a narrator that's speaking like this. As you can see, the scout squad is approaching on the enemy from behind enemy lines, right? Like I can watch that stuff and stuff like that, but the last one I think I watched like this kind of was Restrepo, and it was from... I watched it while I was deployed. And this just gives me vibes of that, and that was hard to watch, even when I was in the service. The motherfucking Korengal Valley, bro. That's where those guys were. That's where they had to be. And bro, had I joined just a little bit sooner, I'm talking like I missed that deployment by a hair. Dude, by a hair. Some of the guys from that deployment that I did know, I was friends with. Some of them I didn't get to meet because they died on that deployment. All right. Matter of fact, for this, we'll change it. I didn't realize. This film contains combat footage from Afghanistan. Viewer discretion is advised. Man, y'all probably can't. Hold on. Where does this okay, well it doesn't really stay. I'm not gonna change my camera. Guys, if at any point my camera gets in the way of something in the video, tell me and I'll switch it. Right now it's in the way of this 249, but nothing's really happening, so. That happened. Alright. Fantastic. I'm assuming that was EOD.
Vanessa. Alright, ready?
Tell us when to go.
Whenever.
These are Marines.
1, 2, 3.
Happy birthday to you.
Are we singing
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Vanessa. Happy birthday to you.
We're in Afghanistan.
Here we go. This is where we fire off shots in the air.
Yeah.
Is Vanessa someone's wife and y'all just all hopped in on the birthday?
Hey, if you want to, real quick, you go to your right.
I mean, it's Marines. Vanessa very well could be the platoon pocket pussy. You never know. Just saying.
Starting off at your right, you got.
I'm Sean. I'm Will. Matt. Hey.
Casey.
Kevin. Cameron.
Jake.
John.
I'm Sully. Happy birthday, Vanessa.
Dude, there's so much footage like this of me out there that my friends have that they just... I've never bothered to get from them. In October 2010, the 3rd Battalion... Oh, wow. They were not that far from us. In 2010, the 3rd Battalion, 5th Marine... And I think I was deployed here. 5th Marines were deployed to Saingin, Afghanistan. In the southern Helmand province. We were not far from that. I think from where we were either at FOB Airborne, which was Wardak, or FOB Joyce, which was Kunar. One of the I knew that at one of those two we weren't far from the Helmand province. I can't remember which one. The battalion inherited the area of operations from the British Royal Marines. In 2010, I was deployed, I think, for sure. Beginning in 2006, British troops suffered more than 100 casualties in Saingin. Almost a third of all casualties suffered by the UK in Afghanistan since operations began in 2001. Damn. This was like their Korengal Valley. Which, for those of you who don't know, Korengal Valley was a very, very contentious, very, very deadly, lethal area that existed within the mountains of Afghanistan. And at one point in history, George Bush, I think at the time George Bush was the president, and he yanked all troops out of the Korengal and ceased all operations in the Korengal. We stayed in Afghanistan, but we got the fuck out of there. Period. We were losing too many troops, and it was too deadly, bro. It was too deadly, and we couldn't think of a good enough excuse to hold it whilst taking that many casualties. So the president straight up fucking called that a fucking no-go area. I think it remained that way. I don't know what happened in the Korengal after that, and especially after I left the country, and especially after I left the service, but... Saingin was the last remaining district where the Taliban could freely process opium and heroin to fund the insurgency. The region served as a strategic crossroads where both seasoned and green insurgent fighters would come to engage coalition troops and plant improvised explosive devices. You fucking hoe bags, IEDs. Little bitches. The bravery and the courage of the Marines from the 3rd Battalion, 5th Marines stands with any unit in Marine Corps history. Any unit, Major General
for a while, it was kind of like a joke throughout our team that nobody wanted to patrol next to me because on multiple occasions, I was, like, the guys standing to my left or right would get shot. So people before were like, no, you know what, you go with next to Smith. Like, people would get shot next to him. Like, let's, like, you know, think smart here. I'm like, come on, guys. Like, we would patrol next to me? Are you guys my friends?
You or the camera?
Just act naturally.
Me and my wife will be married 7 years in April.
Congrats.
And then my daughter's 3 years old, and my other daughter's turning 1 this month.
So, yeah, I'm originally from California, and
I can tell.
raised there, all my schooling there. Enlisted in the military, was stationed there. Like, you know, California is my home.
What do I introduce myself as?
Whatever you want.
Oh, film student?
Yeah.
Veteran?
Yeah.
How about just Logan?
Yeah.
I'm Logan.
Next question. Why did you want to join the Marines? Or did you want to join the Marines?
Oh, that's a tough question. I don't even know the answer to that, to be honest with you. I guess I was called.
Thousands of years from all the different cultures.
That's such a Marine answer. I was called. Because, ask most people in the Army, why'd you join the military? Money, school, I was broke, I was homeless. Fucking, it was either this or go to jail, right? It's always like some reason, some excuse, some kind of like, either materialistic or monetary motivation, right?
There's always been a group of people that's always been
Oh,
set apart.
really? The Logan guy, he's one of the Black Rifle Coffee guys? Dude, I haven't seen I haven't watched we haven't watched Black Rifle in so long that I forgot what most of them look like, for the exception of Matt.
There's the warrior class.
When you're in the middle, like, they drill things in your head too, get you all pumped up, ready to go, and you're around your buddies and you're all thinking the same thing. So yeah, you get all excited. And I was.
It was
You do.
Kevin,
That is a feeling you have.
Matt Smith,
It's excited, but like it's also anxious excited,
Corey, Jordan.
which will quickly dissipate once you get into country. It's like it was like the strangest. It was like the strangest transition. When we were going, I was nervous but excited nervous. I was scared, like scared excited. You know what I mean? And was just anxious to get there, just to see what I was in for, right? Just to see what it was gonna be like, to see what I was gonna have to do. Mainly just to see what the fuck would happen to me. And then all that excitement and like anxiousness and like butterflies in my stomach and just like, you know, tapping my feet really, really fast. Yeah, that went away really, really fast. I want to say within like the second week, that feeling was gone.
I think there were 5 of us.
And so we made the decision, me and my friends, we changed battalions. We went from 2-5 over to 3-5.
How?
And because we knew they were going to Afghanistan.
And pretty much all of us, I think, felt we needed to like prove ourselves and just kind of like get our stripes, you know. So all I wanted to do was pretty much get into a gunfight right away.
I know the sentiment. I didn't know that was a thing, because that's not a thing in the Army. I don't know. Then again, maybe it just depends on the unit or the soldier or the battalion or the brigade or the leadership or just the flexibility. I asked if I could stay in Afghanistan, like past a certain time with the next incoming unit. I didn't want to go back home. They told me no. And then I had a buddy that desperately wanted to deploy because he didn't want his time in the service to be for naught, right? And he begged and begged to go to several units that were deploying, and each time his chain of command said, no, you're not going with them. And so, yeah, I have just several instances in the Army of just like, you want to do something that should be easy. Like, oh, you want to go to the shithole? Bet, fine, go. You would think it'd be that simple, right? Nope, not in the Army, man. But for the Marines, I guess it is that easy. And they're that flexible. Lucky y'all.
And I was like, there's no way I'm signing up in the Marine Corps out of all the military branches. I was like, I'm not. You know, I got to go to some combat zone.
I kind of wanted to experience war, I guess.
When we came over from 2-5, and we were only like 4 or 5 months before the deployment, and these guys had been training together for about a year. They had deployed together, and I didn't know how we were going to fit in, if they were going to be pissed off that we were coming into their platoon.
They were glad to have us.
They were going to be happy, yeah.
You know,
that's more hands,
right off the bat,
that's more help, that's more friends.
We're pretty close with everybody there, and it was one of those group of men that
as long as you're not a bitch, though, you know what I mean? Because, like, sometimes you'll get, like, an incoming soldier, right? And he's just not. Or she is just not. Man, you know what I'm talking about if you've ever been in the service. They're just not, right? And it's hard to accept these fuckers because, you know, you have snitch tendencies, and you're kind of a kiss ass when you don't need to be. You're kind of annoying, right? And as long as you're not that, man, it's so easy to make friends and fit in the military. It's the truly awkward motherfuckers that cannot make friends in the military, because this is making friends in the military is like one of the easiest things. But I knew people that never made friends. They never bothered making friends. They flat out just didn't even want to. But I don't know. For me, it was easy. I was very social back then.
Become really close with.
And like the chemistry that
we are gonna check out all this stuff. Soundtrack to War? Okay. That's probably like a music stream kind of thing, right?
we all had, like, it just clicked. I mean, we had guys come from the East Coast and Hawaii because it was just a bunch of snipers who wanted to go to Afghanistan. And I think that mentality bonded us together.
Then what really hit me was about a week before deployment was the battalion commander did a gear inspection of the whole battalion. And at first, it's like, dude, this is going to take like 3 years, you know, for this guy to get through all this. It's going to take forever.
Yeah.
So he's coming around, and he's really not checking. He knows the Marines have their gear. He just wants to look at them and kind of, when he looked at me and shook my hand and asked me if I was...
He's getting ready to send his subordinates, men, his troops. He's getting ready to send his own men to combat. As much as it's not an easy thing for you, it's not an easy thing for him either, because guess what? If you die, that's on him. It'll always be on him. It has to be on him, right? And he's going to have to bear the brunt of that, not just, you know, not just answering questions to the media, but in his own mind, man, like his own soul. Like, he's going to know that he put you in a position, and it comes with the job, but it doesn't mean that it doesn't take its mental toll on the leader that's sending you there. You know what I mean?
Ready to go. That's where it really hit me, because I was like, wow, like, this guy's looking me in the eye and he's telling me, he's like, dude, we're going over. I could just feel it. He's like, we're going over to, there's going to be some bad shit going down over here, you know?
I thought it was going to be easy, you know, like video games or movies. It wasn't.
What a terrible reality you must have suffered. I feel bad. I feel so bad if that's what you thought. I really do. Man, that's just... God, I can't say, like... I felt way more prepared than that. That's all I can say. And again, man, it was easy for me. My dad was prior service. My recruiter was a friend of the family. I was told everything I needed to know, for the most part. For the exception of like a couple of, anyways.
A lot of casualties right away. I think we took...
y'all lost 4 in the same day.
It was 9 in either 2 or 4 days. It was something awful like that, and that was right at the beginning of the deployment. And then experiencing that off the bat, you knew, or you had the feeling that could be like that the whole time. And there was a possibility that there wouldn't be very many people going home.
Hi, Amanda. Just got back from patrol. I'm gonna go through my gear real quick for you and your brothers. Right here I have 8 magazines a 5.56, and then I carry my 2 tourniquets so I can grab them out really quick if I need to. Got 2 frags, got my pig sticker, then I got my medical shears for cutting off sleeves and pant legs for when we have to put tourniquets on to get the wounds. Got a smoke here usually, but I just threw it today on today's patrol, so it's not there. Right here, I have my comm. Just stick this in my ear right here, and then I just talk normally, and I just gotta press a little button down here.
Man, y'all are so lucky. You know what? It's crazy. People say that the Marines are the least funded. However, I was in the Army and I went on several, bro. Several. I'd like to venture and say in the hundreds of foot patrols. We didn't have that. We didn't have that communication with the earpiece and the stuff like that, bro. If we wanted to communicate with each other, we had to like verbally say it. And in the case of a foot patrol, you're like 5, 10, 15, 25, 30, sometimes depending on where you are in the foot patrol, feet apart. You want to talk to someone, you kind of got to fucking yell. That's just how we communicated. And that's why we didn't wear earplugs, because it was like, we wear earplugs, how are we going to hear anyone, man? And especially if you're inside of a vehicle, that vehicle's already like hella loud. And then they want to tell you that your hearing loss is not service related. Well, it's just like, bitch, like I couldn't really use it, you know, because like I can't hear anything. And I already can't hear anything, period. It's just like it's like a lose-lose really with the whole hearing thing.
Here, that way they don't see me like I don't really look important or anything. Then right here, I got my laser rangefinders. My Camelback is right here.
But I think these are all snipers, right? For the most part. So, I suppose.
It has my emergency pistol in it. Then right here is my IFAC with all my medical supplies in it.
I think you got shot at your first patrol, didn't you?
Yeah, I didn't even go on patrol yet. We were driving into the base, and the guy on the turret, the gun on top of the trucks and stuff, he was just standing up, and the guy from the other battalion was like, hey, you know, we've had some sniper fire here, so you might want to sit down. And he sits down as we're going up the hill, just ding, just a round hits right on the shield where he was at. And we're like, oh,
dude.
crap. You know, like we're already getting shot at.
I think we were at the base. We landed like in the middle of the night, and then
where'd y'all land?
the next day we were like bullshitting with like the British guys, just like hanging out. And I just remember.
Did y'all land it? I wonder if they landed it. They had to have landed at Bagram first. Right off rip. There's no other place to land. You have to land Bagram. And to get to Bagram, you probably left Kyrgyzstan. So maybe, let's see.
I remember seeing a bullet like right in between the two like hooches, like the little fortified like living areas that we.
But no, probably not, because if y'all are taking fire on wherever you are, chances are it's not Bagram. They can't get you're not taking fire on Bagram.
Had like right in the middle of the alley, just skip on the ground.
The first day, the first 24-hour period I was there, bullets came in the fob.
Yeah, I forgot
bullets
about that.
Bullets came in the base the first 24 hours. That was before we even knew where we were going. It was dusk, smoking a cigarette, and
just a bullet comes skipping down.
You're like, that just happened.
Yeah, it did.
And everybody
Wild,
in our section, all the snipers, just ran straight to our base or right to our hooch, grabbed all of our gear, and ran straight up to the wall.
It's like, where's my gun? Where's my gun?
What do we do?
Yeah.
That's when it hit real for me. I was like, okay, you know.
Like right now?
Literally our first mission is our first time going out the wire. We left like really, really early in the morning, like 03 or 04. And we were in this cornfield, and we saw the two like team leaders, I guess you would say, of that like insurgent group, and they had like their AKs and their radios, and they were pointing like where they were gonna set up and stuff. And so we initiated contact and took out the two team leaders, and then just all hell broke loose.
Ugh, this blows.
Stop up.
And then with the enemy on that point, they started maneuvering around us and just like getting us into a 180. And that's when I knew like this is going to be a whole different ball game. I mean, it's the very first day, 4 hours into the day, and you're already 2 clicks away from any help, and you're getting cut off and surrounded and moved on by the enemy at 7 in the morning, and there's nothing you could do about it.
Right here is the M40 sniper rifle with a suppressor.
That's so clean.
This is what I got my first 2 kills on. It's at 308 meters, and they were running from left to right.
Damn. That's a good shot. 308 meters on a moving target. That's good.
For me, they were running left to right. I got my first 2 kills.
So they were running. Were they trying to juke you? They no way. So they're running left to right. Yeah. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. That zigzaggy juke move bullshit that will probably work for you in a video game, right? That's not working for you in real life. This guy's gonna get you.
Didn't even know it hit him. It was pretty funny.
Damn.
Next is my rifle. I got a nighttime armament suppressor on it, 9th magazine,
So good.
and then
So
a
sexy.
B4 butt stock. Usually carry 9 mags because in the past couple firefights we've been going through 5 to 6 mags, so it's always good to have 3 extra. And right here, you have the Mark 11 sniper rifle. It's a semi-automatic, 20-round magazine.
I bet you this thing is a menace, man. You get high ground and you get some decent cover and you get a decent vantage point, and you can be so annoying with this thing. Even if you're not actively killing the enemy, the fact that you're even there, man, simply your presence with this thing is just...
It's pretty much like an M16, only shoots 7.62. It's just as accurate as the 40, and
Jesus.
you can take off the suppressor, and it helps it make it look like an M16 when it's on patrol. All right, I hope you enjoyed that.
I did enjoy that.
I
man.
love you.
I would say it's a roller coaster ride, kind of.
Those are all his weapons, or those are weapons that belong to different people in his like platoon or in his squad. He's just showing what the platoon uses. I only had 1 weapon. Both deployments. I mean, yeah, I had the 50, but I only got to use that thing when I was inside of a truck, right? For the most part, I had the M4. I only had 1. Our officers had multiple weapons, but that's just because they were officers. They had their M4 and their pistol. Anyways, but this is a scout group, so obviously.
You get there and you're all amped up.
It does, right?
Excited.
Mm-hmm.
And then stuff starts happening. You're like, wow, this is real, you know? And like you said, no day was the same. You had your good ones and you had your good or bad ones, and you just roll with it.
How it was working is we were clearing out a section of the city, and the IEDs the whole place was just littered with them.
Yeah.
And I was maybe 200 meters behind Kevin's element.
So literally, we'd go into a compound, we'd find 2 or 3, dispose of them, move up to the next compound, 4 of them were in there, you know? It was a very slow process of doing this.
That's fun. Dude, the amount of times I sat idly by while EOD blew up an IED or something that they found, a UXO of some kind. It was hella boring. The process was hella boring, but the final result was always so much fun. And it always made me smile. Yeah, so I can relate.
A known sharpshooter in that area. And so we were all pretty nervous going in there. We had a couple precision shots on some machine gunners, on rooftops. I came very close to hitting people.
And we moved.
You know, it's one thing we did, Don, in basic training for moving targets. One thing that I feel like we practiced this more in an indoor setting than we did on the actual range. But dude, one thing about my basic training that seemed pretty futuristic to me whenever I got there and I saw it for the first time, I was like, wait, the military has this shit? Anyways, you know, like those indoor golfing ranges that you can use where like you set up a thing with a projector and shit and you hit your golf ball and it tells you how long you hit it. It gives you the projection and all that stuff, like the arc that it took and stuff like that and the pathing. It was the same thing, but with bullets, with like guns, right? So we had like these airsoft weapons that were connected with a wire and like a cable, and we aimed it at the screen at moving targets and at different shit, and we would aim, and it was pretty fucking cool, actually. And it was hella fun. And I just loved that little bit of training because it was like one of the very few parts of basic training that didn't involve profuse amounts of sweating. 90% of the training is going to involve insane amounts of sweating. But that in particular, I was like, okay, man, this is cool. This is like, hell yeah, this is not bad.
Moved up, and I was at the like in the forward of the element, and we get up on top of the roof of this next compound, and I'm looking down into the next one, and there's a dog in there. And this dog is just going nuts, barking at us. And we were talking, and we're like, okay, you know, we might have to put this dog down so we could send our bomb dog in to sniff around, you know.
And so we're in an Overwatch position,
ladies and gentlemen.
And we hear...
But if animals get in the way in that country, we shoot them. We have to put them down. Because there's no way that any of us are going to risk getting bit by a local animal. There's no fucking way. 1, it could kill you. 2, it might have rabies. It might have any number of fucking things. And guess what that means? Let's say that you have a 12-month deployment, right? And month 11 rolls around. You go on a mission, get bit by a dog. Guess what? You don't get to go home. You're gonna have to quarantine, bro, for a certain amount of time before they let you go home. So while all your friends, month 12 hits, they get to go home. They get to go home, right? Not you. At least that's what they told us, bro. We did not handle animals. That was not our job. So if they got in the way or if they posed any kind of a threat, they got put down instantly.
A single shot.
All it takes.
So I'm up there and I'm like, all right, yep, all right, game plan, got it. And I'm turning around to talk to the squad leader to tell him what we're gonna do, and boom, just like that.
And like, all of a sudden on the radio, we hear routine gunshot to the head. And then they said his kill number. And like, I just felt like everything come out of me because in my mind, he'd been shot in the face and died.
I think they just got him in the helmet.
And I jumped right off and I went to the squad leader. I said, we're gonna go get him.
My team leader crawls up to me. He's like, dude, you just got shot in the head, you know? And I'm like, am I bleeding? He's like, he checks me out. I was like, just a little bit, but you know, you're talking to me. And I was just, get me out of here, dude. Like, just, I want to get out of here.
And I grabbed me and Mark Hammett. So we're gonna go get.
God, dude, I'm imagining it. I'm imagining that initial shell shock, and then the realization, and then that brief, very brief but immediate moment of panic, man, because like,
Kevin. And then right after I said that, they're like, no, he's fine, don't worry. It didn't puncture, like, it just scraped his helmet. We're like, are you fucking kidding me?
So we go back down the stairs, and we're sitting down there, and the corpsman comes up, and he's like, his little flashlight, checking me out and everything. And he's like, you're good, man. He's like, do you need anything? I was like, can I smoke a cigarette? And he's like, I don't see why not. So yeah, they gave me a cigarette.
So we go over there, and I don't know what to think. I'm still like...
Cigarettes were life back then, in those days. At least for me, anyway.
My, adrenaline's pumping. I'm like terrified. and I'm happy because he's not dead.
Mm-hmm.
And we get over there, and he comes into this compound. We meet in this compound. He gives me a smile. I was like, fuck, dude.
And I pop my helmet off and like I look at it and like all the padding's blown out inside. And
Damn.
I'm like, what is all this stuff?
So this is a helmet I was wearing while I got shot. And you can see
Jesus.
that's the entrance where it obviously went in, and it traced, let's see if we can get a good view, traced around on the inside of the Kevlar.
Dude, oh my God.
And then tried to poke itself out through here, but it got stopped within. And you can see in the pads how it ripped through all the pads as well.
And then I looked
Holy
over
shit.
at Mark, and he's as white as a ghost. And like, if I would have looked at him at the same time, I would have thought that Mark was the guy who got shot in the head, because he was so much more concerned about it. Kevin was just dazed and confused. He wanted to get the fuck out of there. But just like the emotion that, you know, Mark was showing, like true emotion, like one of his best friends almost died.
And that's one of the things that I struggle with the most, is because I feel I'm better than that. I should have never put myself in that situation. I should have never.
Nah, man. Like, typical Marine shit to say. That's my fault. I got shot in the head. My B. That's on me. I'll fix myself for next time. But dog, please. You can spare us being humble, man. We get it. Holy shit. It's like
Never gave him the opportunity to even take a shot at me.
And that was like such a strong like impact on me, because I just wanted to go shoot everyone I fucking saw.
oh yeah. Oh dude. I can relate 100% wholeheartedly with that statement. And it's so hard. And it's one of the hardest things in the world. Because you can't do that. You can't lose military bearing. You can't lose that professionalism that has been instilled in you. You can't, because if you do that, you're no better than them, man. As much as you wish you could. There was times where, dude, I wish that I could have just gone to a village and just like evacuated all the women and children and then just burned it the fuck down with all the bastards in there. But like, you can't do shit like that, man. And but hey, man, at least y'all were in a situation and in a position and in an area and in a time where you could pull the trigger a lot easier than I could.
And then I remember the doctor telling me, so I have some advice for you. And if you follow it, he's like, I guarantee you'll make it out of here. And I was like, all right, what's the advice? Don't get shot again and don't step on any IEDs. And I was like, whoa.
Thanks, doctor. That's such a holy shit.
Go figure, buddy. You know, I've already got that down.
When Kevin got shot.
That's also a Marine. I can't really say if that's a Marine doctor or if that's just a military doctor in general. Because I know that, you know, in the Army, you would go to the aid station with something that was truly wrong with you, and they would just give you like ibuprofen. Go in there with like a fractured spleen. Here you go. Here's some Tylenol. Call me in a week. Can I get a profile? Nope. It's like, okay. All right.
Shot. I found out so much later that it was just, I was so conditioned to being used to hearing things like that. When I heard that Kevin got shot, it was Kevin got shot, but he's okay. So it was like,
Oh, okay.
oh, you know. And it was something that I needed to ask him about later when I saw him, but it was just, it was standard. It was typical to hear that somebody got shot by then.
You know, just boom, it just happened. And I was like, I got super lucky. And then like thinking those next couple of days, I was like, dude,
insanely lucky. It's like
definitely got a second chance, you know, got to push the restart button.
Like, it's one of those things where it almost makes you want to go home. Really, because it's just like, what are the chances that I get that lucky again? You know what I'm saying? It's one of those things that almost makes you want to just go the fuck home. Like, I don't want to be here anymore, man.
Kind of. And then it was like, that's when I was completely changed. I was like, dude, it's on, you know? And it's kind of a fight every single day just to make sure you get out of there.
To stay alive.
All right, get across. Let's go. Let's go. Go, 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 go.
And while there's some situations where you might not even get to pull the trigger, you might not even get into a fight, it's just, bro, some of the areas that you find yourself in, some of the instances that you find yourself in, some of the locations that you find yourself in that are so insanely fucking sketchy, dude, that, oh my God. It's just terrifying, man. It's straight up terrifying, and just the threat is looming at every corner, and you just don't know. You really don't know. You don't know how it's gonna come. All you know is that it's coming at some point. It's just, and that right there is what can drive you crazy. You know, some of the best times, some of the better moments mentally were when you were actually in a firefight, because you're shooting. They're shooting back. It's happening. You're doing the thing. It's those moments when you're not in a firefight. It's those moments where, like, a day, 3 days, 4 days, maybe even a week has gone by and nothing's happened, right? And you're still on guard, right? Your senses are still up here from the last time, right? And it's stressful. It takes a lot out of you mentally, dude. Just, I get it.
Come on, let's go. Oh. Go ahead, run across.
I was much more afraid of stepping on an ID than getting shot. The gunfights weren't as scary to me as just walking around.
Because a medic can heal a bullet wound, the chances of them healing you stepping on an IED, bro, is slim as fuck. You're kind of just dead.
Some of the scariest patrols I went on, I never even got shot at. And I remember I would wake up and be like, I would look.
See what he just said? Some of the scariest patrols I ever went on, I never even got shot at. I can relate to that too. One of the scariest missions that I ever went on was my last mission of my first deployment. We were 2 weeks away from going home, guys. 2 weeks away from going home. And our commander still had us out there doing a blackout night drive convoy, man, across a really, really small bridge this fucking big that, man, if the driver was not careful, you fall one way, you fall the other way. And we were doing this in pure blackout darkness with NVGs. And I was like, it was one of the scariest missions, because I was just like, wouldn't it be a motherfucking shame if I died right now? If some shit popped off right now, they took advantage of the fact that we're only operating with NVGs, and they just decided to unleash, and I die right here, 2 weeks out from going home. That was one of the scariest missions for me. And guess what? Nothing happened, but I was the most stressed out during that mission. Because I was like, oh my God, literally 14 days and we go home, and I'm like, ugh, all right.
Look at my legs, be like, well, it's been a wild ride, but might not be walking back into base tonight. I mean, those first 3 months were fucking miserable, because every time a log train came in to resupply us, like a convoy to give us more supplies, every time those came in, we were just bringing more bad news. You know, somebody's friend either died or, you know, got both his legs blown off. And it just, you could see the emotional toll it took on us. Those first 3 to 4 months was just every day something was going on. And it was kind of demoralizing.
Hi, Amanda. Hi, Vanessa. Vanessa, I'm your dad. Yeah.
This is his daughter.
And I'm here in Afghanistan, and I want you to know I miss you, and I love you. I want you to have a good first birthday, and I love your mom very much. Amanda, I love you a lot. I want to show you my hair, because I got chewed out today, so so I have to get a haircut. It's just awesome. Notice? It's amazing.
At least you still have hair, man. Which is so funny. So funny. after after my first tour, I went back to my old high school to see my old baseball coach. And the first thing he told me to do when he saw me, he's like, "Take off your hat for a second." And so I took it off. He's like, "You still have all your hair." I was like, "Yeah, man, why wouldn't I?" He's like, "I don't know, man. I just figured like combat would like and all that stress would like make you lose it." And I'm like, "No, I mean, yeah, there is that, but like, no, I'm good, man. Only my dad's bald. You know this."
Alright. I want you to know I'm going to come home safe. And we're fighting hard. And yeah, we're not showing any mercy. So we're going to make sure we all come back home alive, safe, with all our parts. Know that the Lord is with us, and that He's protecting us and guiding us, and just blessing us alive. He's kept us pretty safe in some hairy situations.
And so there was like this small gap between the tree I was with, like on, and then like where I was, you know, because I was trying to stay behind it. And this like PKM or AK burst just ripped us like right up into us.
And we're in a tight alley. There's like 13 of us in a tight alley. And the only way we could do was a ranger file, which is just one man after the other, like a long line.
And the round like hit the tree bark and like sprayed my face with the tree bark.
I turned to shoot, and there were 3 guys in front of me, so my field of fire were cut off. So I started running back, and I remember as I was running back, the dirt was like, every step I took, a bullet would follow my foot.
And like went right, I mean, it was like a gap.
Just like in the movies, yeah, I get what you're saying, man.
Like that big in between my head and this tree, and the round like went right in there and ripped up the front of the tree.
Yeah, we
and
gotta
it
get the
ripped
fuck outta
up
here.
Matt's whole side.
I mean, that's the definition of like perfect situation with an automatic weapon.
Mm-hmm.
To have that many targets lined up in that
In a
small of
row.
a space, that
Yeah.
close,
That's yeah.
and only one guy got hit inside Sappy plate. It's like, it's almost impossible.
And like,
You say that, but you got to remember who's on the other side of that weapon. You got to remember who's on the other side of that weapon. Yeah, they're fierce fighters, man, but like they don't train like we do. They don't train on the weaponry like we do, man. They don't go to the range. They don't perform functions checks. They don't do any of that stuff, right? So I guarantee that if you put a Marine on that weapon that's shooting at y'all, all of y'all die. But because of who's behind that weapon, I feel like y'all got lucky because of operator error, man. Whoever's behind that weapon, or maybe they just didn't have good sight on y'all, and y'all really just did get lucky. They just knew the area but couldn't actually directly see you. Maybe they just saw movement and just decided to open up, and just so happened to get lucky in the direction they opened up in. But man, they're not the best shooters. You say impossible. I say it's very possible for them because they're that bad.
like it just got rocked back, and we're just sitting there in this like little ditch, and we were just laughing like, holy crap, you know, like whoa, you know,
fuck
just
was
like
that?
kind of surreal feeling.
There were times when I was like, someone was moving bullets around with their hands, because there was no way in hell that didn't hit me. I think what got us through it the most was our ability to like laugh at the situation.
Oh yeah. Hell yeah.
One who farts in church sits in his own pew.
Because when you're put in that severe of
Yeah.
a circumstance, you can either like
You can't be, if you try to be serious all the time in this world, in this environment, you're gonna be one miserable motherfucker, bro. You really are.
let it cripple you,
Yeah.
or you can just make fun of it
Yeah.
and, you know,
Yeah.
If you make fun of it, kind of disarms the danger of it. So that was pretty much how we got through it, just like making a joke out of it and kind of becoming a little cynical about the whole deployment.
Like I told you guys, McCoy almost died from a Gatorade bottle. Man, some fucking jackass tried to he balanced a rocket on a Gatorade bottle or a Coke can of some kind and tried to aim it at McCoy's truck. Man. And we would always laugh about that, man. To this day, we still laugh about that. To this day, he'll still be like, "Hey, dude, you remember that one jackass?" I'm like, "Yes, man." With the Coke can or the Gatorade bottle or something. Yeah. That shit was just funny because, like, I'd never seen something like that before. That was like a very unique way of trying to kill somebody. And because they would shoot a RPG or place an ID for us to drive over, or just flat out open up with small arms fire. This motherfucker was on some weird shit, and it was just hilarious. Yeah, okay.
I think the way that we'll do laundry is shirts, then breeches, then underwear.
Are we gonna separate colors?
And then socks, and then Logan's socks. Logan's
Damn.
socks will always be last.
Damn, Logan.
No matter what. You can throw all your other laundry. I'll even do your breeches and your shirts for you, but your socks, your socks go last.
The athlete's foot is strong with this one.
I've worn a pair of socks for a week that came off not smelling that bad.
Earlier, he was, I don't know.
No, dude.
He got his front tooth knocked out, so he had a fake one in. And, oh yeah, I want to say it was within the first month of deployment. And
the one before we even got into country. Or like when we were getting ready to get on the helo to go. Remember that? Like this thing would just, like he could take it out. And he would keep it. There's this little compartment in the buttstock of our gun, and he would keep his tooth in there.
Oh my god.
And we're like getting ready to get on the helo, like to go to the main base. We're like, well, okay, here we go, you know, and they're like, chopper's like 10 minutes out, you know, and we're like, all right, like loading up. He's like, my tooth fell out.
So we're sitting in the rocks.
We're in gravel. Everything looks
Oh,
like a tooth.
no. Everyone's got their not their iPhones, their
hell no.
iPods. Like, yeah, and it's dark.
Oh, y'all
So
are-
we're down here. I don't know how we found that damn tooth.
Y'all found
before
it?
the chopper got there.
There's no way.
Like if we heard that someone was an amputee from an IED, the first question we would ask is, did he get to keep his nuts? Because we really didn't want to deal with the fact that a guy just lost his legs. We wanted to make like, okay, if he keeps his nuts, at least he's, you know, still a man, still gets to,
Yeah.
you know, have some fun. So as long as the guy got to keep his nuts, that's how we pretty much.
I mean, really, as long as you keep the dick. I'm saying.
Look at it.
So he's got it there, but then within a month in deployment, we get into contact, and he's screaming orders out, and he just screams his tooth, just flies right out.
That's hilarious.
So we're like starting to bound back, you know, to get out of the danger area, and he's just sitting there patting the ground, like looking for his tooth, and we're like,
dude,
we gotta go, like. People are shooting at us. He's like, my tooth, my
Oh my
tooth. I'm
god,
like,
fuck your
"Leave it,
tooth.
dude. Like, we'll get you another one. And we never did, you know.
Oh
but
my
so
god.
another
Yo, why didn't you just super glue that shit? Because that's what a buddy of mine did in high school. He cracked his tooth in half playing football on my forehead. I have the scar on my forehead to prove it. And then a week later, we went to a baseball tournament in Alabama, and his, like, half of his tooth, like, he was at the plate getting ready to hit, and, like, half his tooth fell out again because he had super glued it, right? He had super glued it. It fell out at the plate. He picked it up, put it in his pocket, hit a bomb, and then touched home plate, went back in, super glued it back. But when he super glued it back, his tongue got stuck to the back of the tooth because the glue seeped past the, you know. And so he went the rest of the game with his tongue stuck to his tooth. And he still managed to go 3 for 4. Like, he killed it that day. with his tongue stuck to his tooth, and then after the game, he had to like go to the hospital and get that shit. Like, dog. Oh, that's funny.
6 months. He had to walk.
And hey, you're in combat. There's literally no one to impress. It's not like you have to worry about walking past a gaggle of bitches, right? You ain't getting no play in this country, anyways.
Walk around with a tooth missing. Like, should have kept it in your butt stock, dude.
I hate everything about this location that they're at right now. Everything about it. The openness, the lack of cover, like...
And we were so short on bodies that we were begging the Marine Corps to send us Marines to help us. We had 25 KIA plus over 200 wounded.
You know what I don't understand? So many soldiers in country, and they're low on troops, they're low on manpower, they're low on health. Why can't we just pull soldiers from the army that are already in country? It's soldiers that really either aren't doing much or soldiers to spare, because believe you me, we had soldiers to spare. My first deployment that just never went on foot patrols or just never went on convoys, right? And there were plenty of people on my fob that were just itching to shoot at something. Why couldn't we go help them? Is it because we're not Marines? Is it because that's not our AO? Is it, I mean, dog, help is help. Who cares? We're already in the same country. Just tell us where they are. Whatever.
We're not going to let the enemy see that we're taken down easily. We're going to let them know that America is here.
Because I was deployed 2010, man, and the shit that we were doing, while it was important, sure, yeah, I guess, probably not as important as this, though, and, like, could have been like, hey, there's some Marines that need y'all's help. Do y'all want to go help? They're taking heavy fire. I guarantee, bro, 99% of all of us would have been like, abso-fucking-lutely, let's go, like yesterday, and we would be there. So, I don't know. Maybe you just don't want army troops dying in a Marine AO, I guess, or vice versa. I don't know. Who cares, man? We're on the same team. Whatever.
We're, I'm going to chew bubble gum and kick ass, and we're all out of bubble gum. You know what I'm saying? Morning, Amanda. And Vanessa.
That's Duke Nukem, by the way, for those who don't know.
This is Sangan. And this is PB Fires. This is where we're staying. It's the most northern part of Sangan. This is Abate's room. It's kind of dark in there because we don't have power.
If you could have anybody, living or dead, past or present, fictional, non-fictional, jump out of a birthday cake on your next birthday, who would it be?
Abate Matthew.
Hold on.
A birthday cake on your next birthday, who would it be?
Abate Matthew. Abate.
Why is that?
Because he's the greatest man I've ever known, and I don't think there is any other person alive that would instantly touch somebody's life like he did. Like, even if you knew him for like 30 seconds, within that 30 seconds of meeting him, you'd feel like he was your best friend already, you know?
The first time I met him was when we went to go like interview with 3-5 to see if they would take us. And he's just walking out of the shack with a 53-pound fucking kettlebell. I was like, "What's up, brother? Like, welcome to the platoon, man." Like, just like that was the kind of guy he was. Like, everybody wanted to be around him.
He was an alpha. He was that man that women wanted to be with him, men wanted to be him. He was that guy that could change the outlook of anything.
I mean, like, you think of, like, the perfect Marine, like, that was it. Just tall, built like a brick shit house. Fucking phenomenal at whatever he did.
He was just kind of like the heart and soul of our platoon.
Because people would come back, like our platoon sergeant would come back and he would try to recreate the story the way Abate said. It's like, I shot the guy and his body was flapping like this. It was hella sick. And just, I mean, everything about him, I heard he would just, they'd be in the middle of a gunfight and he would just run out to the middle of the open, just like, just gotta keep blazing, brother. I mean, I'm sure the stories are skewed from what actually happened. I'm sure the real stories are much cooler than that.
Yeah, he was like super stoked and
his legend grows.
just like ready to go blaze. Yeah, and go be with his brothers.
And he completely redefined that battle space that we were in. And by the time it was done, had rallied, you know, hundreds of men.
Like, I ran into a guy at the fucking gym the other day, and I was wearing a 3-5 shirt, and he happened to be in 3-5. He was actually in Lima Company. And the first thing he said to me was like, did you know Abate? I was like, yeah, dude. Like, I'm in Chicago 2 years later, some fucking random guy sees a 3-5 shirt. He's like, do you know Abate? Like, yeah.
Tis unfortunate. Dude, 2011, I think I was deployed again. Fuck. It's the first time that the members of the Scout Sniper platoon had seen each other since the deployment began.
Let's see what we remember about that.
Dude, I don't think I took any pictures, man, like this with my platoon. We weren't really, for the exception of a few that documented like their own POV, we didn't really record much. And for good reason. There's certain things I'm glad that the cameras weren't on for, but even just like group recording sessions like I've seen here that they included everyone in the video, we rarely ever did that.
Dude, I don't have this pic. This is the day that you all came for.
Or maybe I just can't remember, bro. I do remember not being a fan of picture day in the military, but
Matt's remembrance ceremony, and it was the first time we had all seen each other the whole deployment. It was a good time.
Yeah, well, it was fucking bullshit because you guys were there for like, I don't know, 9 hours and like get the hell out of here. But it was amazing to, first of all, walking into Banshee 3's lair, as it were.
It was like the happiest moment of my life. Like seeing you and seeing, you know, Sherwood, and if anything would happen to that person, you know, you'd just be crushed. And so seeing you guys still alive and walking around, you know, like, just gave me so much peace to like visually see you and embrace you and hug you and hold you and talk to you and
dude, that's pretty cool. I haven't seen my friends in like
smoke
10 years.
a cigarette with you.
We got to see each other for the first time in many months, and that was the first time the 29 of us were together, and like you just really saw these relationships come back together and how much these people genuinely cared about each other.
And then walking in and seeing them, and like it was like a family reunion, and it was just amazing to see them at first. And then, I mean, I had more closer ties with your section, and then finally when your section came in, it was like a fucking party. You know, I remember I have videos of us just sitting around that little fire pit. For some reason, there's a fucking dog. I remember the thing smelled like shit, but just being with everybody, it was a big morale booster.
Yeah, that was a no-go for us, man. Morale booster or not. There was a situation that happened over a dog when I was deployed. It was not pretty.
It sucked when they like ripped you guys out of there.
Allow these rumors to spread.
And this is pretty much this is universal, man. This is pretty much what we did on our off time, on our free time. Was basically sit around in a circle either at the smoke pit or just like outside the tent. Like we built our own little like gazebo type seating area or whatever. And we would just sit out there for hours just smoking cigarettes. Or I remember one day I sat out there with my buddy Washburn and we chain smoked an entire carton of cigarettes. We were just talking shit. Talking about life, childhood, women, taxes, death, the military. Everything that could be talked about, we talked about it while we proceeded to chain smoke together an entire carton of Newport shorts. Because there was literally nothing else to fucking do.
And then to talk about all the memories of Matt, you know, together, and everybody's laughing, and that it wasn't like a depressing Matt's dead, we all mourned. Instead, we all mourned in like dude, that guy was awesome, you know, like, yeah, it was a good death. It was a time of remembrance, and it was a lot of healing.
We didn't even have to talk about, you know, the gunfights we've been in or anything. It wasn't even like that, because we all knew that we had been through hell. We just wanted to like talk about good times, you know, and just be with each other, not dwell on that, because that's every other day of the deployment. That was like our vacation.
What had happened in that deployment, and with all the death and carnage that was going on, there was like a little glimpse of, oh yeah, this is why I'm here, this guy, these are my brothers, you know, this is it for sure.
It was, those brothers will always mean a lot, forever. That's a bond that'll never go away.
Yeah.
You know?
For like a select few of them, there will be some that will fade from your memory as you. But like, dude, even the guys in my platoon that I didn't like, I still remember their names. I still remember their faces. I still remember who they were, man. Even the ones I didn't like. So yeah, you'll remember most of these people forever, especially if you deployed with them. Like if you just served some time with them at a duty station and you just like saw them on either a semi-daily or daily basis, whatever, that's one thing. But when you deploy, those friendships, they crystallize and solidify in a way that might take other people years to develop a friendship like that. It's crazy, dude, because like you go to basic training, you go to AIT, you get to your unit. When you get to your unit, chances are, at least if you deployed around the same time I did, chances are 6 months into you being at your unit, you're already going to be deployed, which means you got 6 months to train, establish some camaraderie with your teammates, learn who they are, and befriend them, right? You got 6 months to do all of that and then deploy. And then you deploy, and then going through combat with them, man, your friendship just becomes so much more solid throughout that combat that when you leave and you finally go back home, you're better friends after one tour than people that have known each other for 10 years. That's how fast it'll happen. And it'll last a lifetime. Oh, he got the Navy Cross. Nice.
Stories throughout deployment. I mean, we have endless stories, you know. It's just, what kind do you want to hear? You know, you want to hear funny, sad, you know, crazy. Like was it every day is a story, you know.
Okay, I've got a question. It's your first night back in the United States, and you get ready to sleep. What's going through your head then?
What was the question?
Okay, I've got a question. It's your first night back in the United States, and you get ready to sleep. What's going through your head then?
It's your first night back in the United States after your deployment, and you're getting ready to sleep. That's kind of like you're kind of assuming that we're gonna get back to the United States and immediately sleep, lady. There was no sleeping to be had. I got back from deployment and my ass hit the fucking bottle immediately. I drank so hard, so fast, and so vigorously that I was already piss blackout drunk within the first hour of me being back. And I passed out before I could even make it to the strip club. But Saturday I made it to the strip club. But that Friday, no, it was like, yeah. I hadn't had alcohol in a year, so there really wasn't much thinking going on. I drowned myself in alcohol and passed out. That was the move, really, for, I want to say, 80% of us, because the other 20% were either married or they were like sergeants who lived off post. They probably got drunk at home. Who knows? I don't know. Everyone does their own thing. See?
Get hammered drunk, to be honest with you, you know, like party. Like, and we did.
There was no sleep. There was no sleep, bro.
You know, I mean, obviously, like any other Marine come back from deployment, you just drink, you know, to make up for lost times. You know, and I just told myself, oh, I'm just celebrating like anybody should. But, I mean, after a while, I realized, like, okay, celebration has to stop at some point, you know?
Yeah.
You know, party's got to end at some point.
And then it just became, and after the celebration was over, we just all embraced our alcoholism, is what we did, really. Especially my buddy Alex, man, in the military. He was one of the biggest alcoholics that I knew, man. Before he was terrified of deploying, not because he was afraid of dying, not because he was afraid of getting shot at. He had made peace with that a long time ago. He was afraid of deploying because he knew that he wouldn't be able to get alcohol. And dog, when we deployed for like a week, 2 weeks straight, his hands were like this. He was in a terrible mood. He was the worst person to be around. He was an ass, man. Until he fucking finally detoxed and got used to being sober. And then, you know, our friend came back, right? But dog, for the first 2 weeks, it was like dealing with it was a nightmare to deal with, really. And just, yeah. And then when we got back, just like me, he actually did make it. He was so heavy into drinking that while I passed out that first night, he actually did make it out. And then I think he woke up under a bridge next to like a kebab stand or something. And then like hobbled his ass back home at like 5 o'clock in the morning. He was that type of drinker, bro. Like he'd go blackout, didn't matter where. And he would drink till blackout. And he never puked either. He could drink and 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 never pass out. And it was wild, man.
When I first got back, I was like obviously really angry with everyone, anybody. I was alone, like depressed.
Coming back from a deployment like that,
drink, man.
You feel, I mean, we accomplished something very big over there, you know. We did something very important.
Choose to live this lifestyle of learning how to kill and survive and protect, you know, all at the same time, you know.
And when you come back and you get out into the civilian lifestyle and you're making minimum wage you know, you're not even doing anything. You just sit at home and
learning how to be tough, like push through pain, go on so ever many mile humps with like a ruck and a backpack, you know, with all that weight and just toughing it out, the weather and the cold.
you feel like you're like, wow, dude, I used to be like this. I used to be a Marine, like fighting wars and defending my country and everything, and now
I'm nobody. Nothing. Forgotten. I get it. It's hard to turn off. You get out of the service, you get back from a deployment. It's hard to turn off that mentality. It's hard to turn off that way of living. It's hard to turn off that attitude that you have, right? It's difficult.
I'm a sales rep.
It's hard to turn off being a soldier once you're done, once you've finished it, once you've gotten back. And not even if you're getting out of the not even if you're getting out of the military. If you're just like, you leave a deployment and you come back to garrison, which is a completely different world than military, right? And when you're in the military, you're used to things being relaxed. You're used to things not so much relaxed. You're in combat, but you're used to, you know, you kind of get a pass with shaving. You kind of get a pass with the haircut. Everything is like on a schedule that fits everyone, and it's all good. And there's not much dog and pony show. There's not much red tape. There's not much rank to fuck with you or to make your life annoying. And that's exactly what you go back to after a deployment. And you also have to get used to that shit too, man, because it's just, and that's why lots of dudes, they prefer being, I like me, I preferred being deployed than being in garrison. I would have preferred that every day of the dude, simply just being at Fort Stewart day to day, Monday through Friday. That was hell for me, man. That was worse than my deployments. I couldn't take any of that. I could not take any. I wasn't built for that, dude. Like, I don't even think I was born for that. I just can't. But if you give me a weapon and you give me a couple of friends and you tell me to go do something, god damn it, bro, I feel like I could probably do it. 100% guaranteed, dude. And I would be happy to do it. But everything else that doesn't involve that? It's not fun. It doesn't seem worth it. It doesn't seem worth your time. And it doesn't even seem like you're doing anything worthy, to be honest. If you're not actually engaging the enemy, it's a
Rep at T-Mobile, you know, and I'm selling phones to people.
you just feel like, why am I here?
Yeah.
You know, and no one can relate to you. You try to find help, you can't. You're just like, dude, like, just after a while, to be honest with you, it gets with you. You're just like,
we're bred to be these big, tough creatures, and then all of a sudden, your mind starts going to these dark places, and all of a sudden, like, whoa, what's going on here?
There would be random times when you would just, for no reason at all, just start thinking about it. Like, you could be doing like the fun, like you just be like golfing or, doing something really fun, and all of a sudden you're just like, why am I thinking about all these depressing things? Like, why are they in my mind right now? Like, it's like, there's no reason for me to think about this.
Dude, I can relate to that. I really can. The amount of times, and it still happens to me to this day, where I would just catch my mind drifting into like some really, really sadistic, awful shit. Or into just like a really, really just like dark, self-deprecating place or something. Or just like my head will just like fire up a scenario that will just like have me like breathing heavy, almost like, and there's nothing I can do to stop it. It's just like, what the fuck? Why am I thinking of that? Why am I even putting myself through the mental strain of what is that? Why am I get that. I really do.
And I don't know. I just continued. I mean, it still continues. It obviously goes away a little bit, but I mean, it's always going to be there. There's nothing that's going to stop that.
And so you get used to it.
Because of, you know, who I am, I didn't want people to know that I was having those struggles or whatever, so I'd put on a face at work and act like everything's fine, you know, and I think a lot of us did, you know, try and just hide that we were actually having problems, because I know personally, I used to be like, if I heard somebody had PTSD or I heard somebody was having a problem, I'd be like, he obviously isn't cut out for the job, you know?
People told me going in, you're going to...
And it makes you feel fucking stupid when it happens to you, huh? Yeah. I know about that too.
come out a way different person. And I never thought, I feel I'm a strong-minded person, and not a lot of things can affect me mentally, but looking back at it now, I'm like, wow.
Your hindsight, dude, when you're in the military, you look at some of the stuff that you did and some of the stuff that you had to endure and some of the stuff that happened to you, and you're just like, how did I survive any of this? And how was I okay with this in that moment? Just the hindsight of this stuff, man, when you think about it, it's just like,
So when I was struggling it myself, I was struggling with the things that I thought was weak, you know. In my mind, I was like, I shouldn't be struggling with this, you know. I'm a warrior, you know. I'm a sniper, like, I shouldn't be struggling with this, you know. So I tried to hide it.
So when you came back, were you ever diagnosed with PTSD or not?
You know, I don't know, no one was ever like, you have PTSD, you know. PTSD is this definition that you just gets put at you, and you're like, okay, well, I either feel like I do have this or I don't have it, and I think that is absolutely wrong to say it's a disorder.
I've never really. It's not really a disorder. I don't feel it's more like I feel like it's more like cause and effect, man. Something traumatic happened to you. And the after effects of that trauma is what you're experiencing. To call it a disorder does seem kind of weird, doesn't it? But then again, I guess the reason they call it a disorder because it's something that can be fixed. But can it be fixed? Can it? Can it? The human mind is a very powerful, complicated thing. Can PTSD be fixed? You know? Because I feel like it's going to stay with you, no matter what it is, for the rest of your life. Really. And it's up to you as the individual to mitigate how it affects you, and to stay away from things that could quite possibly set it off. There's no magic medicine that just... Well, I mean, for me, weed has done the job for lots of years, but there's no magic pill you can take that, like, PTSD be gone. You know what I mean? And to this day, I still have, you know, certain things and certain tendencies and certain fucking... If I dream, guys, it's a nightmare, man. That's it. I don't have any good dreams ever. I don't think I've had a good dream about anything, or just even a normal dream. Or it's like, hell, even a dream of like just me going trick-or-treating with my niece or nothing, bro. Anytime I dream, if I dream anything, sometimes I don't dream. But if I do, it's always a nightmare. Why? I don't know. For what? I don't know. It's just there, man. And it's happened so much that it's whatever now. But in the beginning, man, that's just like very hard for me to get used to. Constantly waking up in sweats. Waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning, sweating so fucking bad that you have to shower, man, because you can't even, like, you can't even stomach to just sit in that just, like, pool of sweat that you just created.
It's something that happened, you know?
Yeah, cause and effect.
There wasn't anything we could do about it.
Exactly.
Do you think you have PTSD, and, like, what are your thoughts on all that?
I mean, pretty damn sure I have PTSD. I know it's like kind of hard to diagnose, but I mean, I have flashes of depression and, you know, bad dreams, and I think it's common in Marines, but I mean, the typical thing is that Marines don't want to admit it or whatever, and I totally agree with that. I don't want people to know that I have like a weakness, even though it's not a weakness, it's just something you have to deal with.
I think like I don't want to compare, but if we are, his PT, the way he describes it, it feels kind of like mine. It's not even kind of like mine. Just the way he feels is kind of like the way that I feel. Like if someone asked me like, "Do you have depression?" Well, it's just it depends, man. Ask me again in 6 months, because that's how it goes for me. It's just like I'll go through times where I'm just like, one of the most happiest persons in the world, and there's other times, man, not even months later, where I just don't even want to be here anymore. You know what I'm saying? That's just the way it's always gone for me, and that's just how you deal with it. Yes, and you just do. You just keep waking up for the most part. That's it.
So many people come back from war and they're like, "Oh, I'm fine. I'll deal with it, and it's not a big deal."
And it's the ones that do that fast forward 10, 15 years later down the road, that's when they're going to deal with it. Because you're going to have to deal with it at some point. Whether it be immediately, whether it be in the moment, whether it be 10 years later, you're going to have to deal with it at some point. Really. Whether you want to, your brain is not going to allow it. It's going to happen. It's going to come out one way or the other, whether you like it or not. So, you pull the Band-Aid off now, or just come to terms with it now, or simply just not let it ruin you right now, or it can just ruin you later. But
And, you know, maybe some of them can, but, you know, I tried to deal with it on my own for so long.
Coming back, at first I thought, you know, I had gone through the ringer and it was me that had all the problems. And then you look back and you got to think it all, like the toll it took on your loved ones.
You know, I saw what I was doing to my family, and, you know, it was just like, I heard my mom say, like, what can we do? And I realized that I was affecting the people around me, and that was when I was like, okay, you know, what steps do I need to take to change this? And that was, you know, a year and a half after I got back.
my mom told me that my first deployment, while I was deployed, I think for both deployments, really, both deployments while I was deployed, my dad didn't watch the news in fear that he would either see my face or read my name. And not because of like anything great, because I was dead, right? He like refused to watch the news, man. Anything news, it didn't matter, man. He just stopped watching it altogether, completely. He's never told me that, but my mom told me that.
And then with my home life, you know, I felt like I couldn't talk to my wife or whatever, and I just felt like the only people I could talk to was like you guys and
your friends.
And like my friends, you know, that I actually went with.
And then finally, when I saw my dad, he just gave me
I mean, if I didn't move out to Michigan, if I would have stayed back in California and lived with my really close friends, I would have lived with them. It's still, when you need to talk to somebody, you need somebody that can relate to it.
Yeah.
And there's just no one.
You can't just
unless
talk to
you've
anybody.
Been through it,
yeah,
you can't relate to it.
You can't just talk to anybody.
You know, she still stuck it out with me and is faithful and still like, you know,
That's why when people always say like, oh, go talk to a therapist or like a specialist or like a head doctor, my very next question is going to be, has this specialist, has this head doctor, has this therapist ever been to combat? No? Then they can't help me. I'm sorry. And that's the thing. I don't even need you to be college certified in anything. I just need you to have shared my experience. If you've shared my experience, we can talk. We can. We can probably learn something from each other, and we can probably help each other. But if you've never done it, then you can't help me. You just can't. Dude, kind of like, take like a ER nurse, for example. You know, that nurse at 3 o'clock in the morning that receives all the gunshot victims and the decapitations and the fucking crazy things that Florida man be doing. You know them, right? If they want to talk to someone, they're not going to talk to someone like me, right? They're going to talk to like another colleague, someone else in the field that sees the same brutality morning in, morning out in the ER, in intensive care, right? Stuff like that. They're not going to talk to Phyllis at the bank about their woes at the hospital. No, they're going to talk to someone else who has seen this very same thing and has experienced that very same thing, because, you know, you just can't understand.
Constantly doing stuff, cleaning the house and making sure that, you know, I have a good life.
He just gave me a beer. It's like, welcome home, son.
Yeah, I wouldn't be where I am today if he wasn't here.
My girlfriend Amanda, she's helped me out a lot. She knows, like, she's seen the bad sides of me when I've had problems.
It wouldn't. I don't know if I would have been all right if if you weren't.
And she stuck around and she calmed me down and talked with me and helped me through things. So
you're one of the very few, and you're very lucky, because for a lot of us, they see the problems that we're going through and they just bail. They're just like, nah, fuck this. This is way too much to deal with. I can't. And they're gone, bro. For the most part. They don't want to. It's just more than what they bargained for in instances. So you found yourself a good one, man, and in that case, I'm more proud of you for that than anything else you did on your deployment, really, because in the military, having someone stick by you like that is a rare thing, man. It really is.
I mean, I gotta thank her so much for that.
And it sucks too, because I mean, we know some people that aren't in the same situation as us, and we see the struggles that they go through. So we know it's working.
1.
She's like me. Let's
2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
I think that was the biggest realization with my family, is realizing the importance of them, you know.
2, 3.
You're such a muscle girl.
5.
I think that was like
6.
Good job.
7.
I think that's like one thing that I never thought about when I was in the service, because I was so young when I was in the service, man, and my thoughts about children were very different back then. So like, I guess like one thing I didn't take into account that I definitely take into account now is just how much harder combat is for a parent, right? You're a single 18, 19-year-old kid. You're going to go to that country and you're going to show the fuck out, bro. No fear all the fucking time. Fuck it. YOLO, right? But for the moms and dads, there's a whole other fucking thing waiting. There's a whole other human waiting on you on the other side of the world. So your actions have to be different. Your mindset has to be different. The things you do has to be different, man. And honestly, and obviously you can't let this cute little face cloud your judgment and instill fear to where you can't get the job done. But at the same time, it's something that it's always in the back of your mind. Like, look at what I'm leaving behind, right? So it's like, it's infinitely more difficult for them, I feel, than it is for us. For all of you 18, 19-year-olds that are getting ready to deploy, what are you really leaving behind, huh? I mean, yeah, sure, your mom, your dad, maybe brother and sister, but what are you actually leaving behind? Fucking nothing. That cheating ass girlfriend. That's it, really, for the most part. But for the dad of 2 or the mom of 3 getting ready to deploy, bro, that's just gotta be so fucking difficult.
Go to 10.
And when I came back, I was like, oh yeah, I was the one who went through all this shit. And it just came back, like Christmas this year, was when I first realized, it was like, this had an emotional toll on everybody that's close to me. It wasn't just me, you know? And like, it took me a year and a half to realize that.
Yeah, it's hard to realize in the moment. Especially if you're standing in this formation and you're not married with no kids, your only thought is to get to the strip club as fast as humanly possible. So in this moment, you could be the most fucked up soldier, but in this moment, you're hella happy. Why? Because you're home and you're no longer over there, and you have friends you gotta see, you got people you gotta see, you got family that you gotta see, there's a whole bunch of beer to drink and titties to grab, right? But, you know, that only lasts for so long. And then eventually that just turns into alcoholism. And then there you are for a hot minute. Just thinking that you're partying, thinking that you're filling your free time with something, thinking that it's not a problem, right? Because, hey, at least you're employed, right? Showing up to work, you can drink, all this stuff. But see, that's the problem with us soldiers is we don't really do things at the normal amount. You know what I mean? Take things overboard. And then combine that with the mental issue, with the mental problems that you have that you probably don't even know you have yet. They either haven't manifested or you're just choosing to ignore them. Well, then there you go. A lot of shit's not going to occur to you up until a year, 2 years, 3 years, maybe even 10 years later. So, and especially once you get older and you acquire what you didn't have in your younger 20s, which is perspective. It was kind of bittersweet for us when we came home, my first deployment. Anyone who was married with children, they were happy because their family and their kids were there. But for all of us, 18, 19, 21-year-old dudes that weren't married, we had no kids, well, guess what? We got back home, but we weren't home because we were in Italy. And our family didn't fly to see us. Our loved ones didn't fly to see us get home. We stepped off the plane, we put our bags in our room, we changed into civilian clothes, and we went and we started drinking. That was it. I really tried to make it out that night. I just couldn't. I was too drunk. I couldn't even walk. But yeah, I was happy that I was home from my deployment, but at the same time, I was kind of just like, well, I mean, it's cool. I'm back, but I don't get to see my dad yet. I don't get to see my mom. I don't get to see my sisters. I don't get to see anybody. Granted, the following month, I got to see them because, you know, we just had to, like, integrate, right? We had to in-process and stuff like that. You get back from a deployment, you got to go to medical, you got to do all this shit, right, before you go on leave. So it was like a whole month before I got to go home, but still, just that initial wave of just, like, being in an auditorium full of soldiers and they say dismissed, and then you have to walk past all these people hugging their families and seeing their kids and all this stuff, and then it's just you. Just walking back to your room by yourself with all your bags. Just, all right, cool. Good to be back. It's just me and all of my thoughts. Great. Let's get drunk. That's kind of how that went.
Throughout this film, I questioned whether I was doing the right thing. Asking my brothers to relive those moments, to delve back into that pain, has been a trying task. But now I understand. We owe it to the 25 who didn't come home, and every other warrior who has paid the ultimate sacrifice.
We owe it to them to keep their memory alive, no matter how hard it is for us still walking this earth.
They lost 25 on one tour, man. We lost 2 my first, and we lost 1 on my second. Like, 25? I knew it was a lot, but that's why it's called For the 25. It didn't really dawn on me till right now. I knew that quite a few soldiers had died. I just didn't rack up the numbers till right now.
We owe it to the fatherless children, to the wives who will never feel the touch of their husband again, to the girlfriends who keep that last letter in the top drawer of their bedroom dresser, to the brothers, sisters, and friends who would do anything to hear their laugh one more time. We owe it to the mothers who never stopped praying, and to the fathers who buried their sons too early, and to the grandparents that watched them grow. We owe it to the ones who came home missing limbs, and to the men who left their innocence on the battlefield. We owe it to the 25 to keep our brotherhood alive, to live our lives with their memory in our hearts, to help each other the way we did when death was a constant companion, and to make them proud, because they will always be with us in spirit.
Matt.
Out of those 25 names that you just saw on the screen, how many officers did you see? My point exactly. Officers don't do shit for the military. At all. Y'all are just there to look good, sign our leave papers. Anyways.
He just got his.
Two, probably LTs. Second LTs. First LT. First lieutenant. Second lieutenant. Highest captain. Maybe. That was good. All right. That was good. That was a good video. Terminator was good. Glad you're still here. Yeah, so from now on, unless you're a patron, man, or like you donate something to the equivalent of an hour-long video, we're not gonna do stuff for that long. But that was good to watch. I deployed to Afghanistan. I wasn't far from where these guys were. They were in the Helmand province. I wasn't too far from there. Yeah, I mean, like, sure, there's some infantry officers. I'm not talking about all of them, man, but for the most part, it's just the lower enlisted. And it's the ones that either never deploy or never have to, or in Tim Waltz's case, flat out refuse and abandon their unit. Oh, punk fucking coward. All right. What was Yeah, dude, warrant officers are fantastic. We had one warrant officer, and she was great. We didn't have a warrant officer in my first duty station, but my second duty station at Fort Stewart, we did have a warrant officer, and she was dope. She was great. I wish that she would have been my superior, because she made life so easy. She made the day so easy. I remember one time she was in charge, and dog, She was in charge for like 4 days. It was the best 4 days we had ever experienced in the company. And then our commander came back, and everything went right back to fucking stupid. Like, and really, I just say that because I compare shit to like my commander, man. My first duty station, my first tour. My first sergeant went on a couple missions, but my commander barely did, ever, barely did anything. Hey, I don't want to say he didn't do anything. He didn't go on missions. Instead he was a fobbit, bro. He stayed on the fob the whole time. And then my second duty station, my second deployment, that commander did fuck all. Did fuck all. He went on like 1 or 2 convoys. That's it. And interestingly enough, the times that he did go on those convoys, there was higher ranking people than him around the motor pool area, and just like, oh, I get it. You're just here because you're just trying to kiss ass. There's that fucking lieutenant colonel over there, so naturally, your ass is here, aren't you? Uh-huh, yeah. Ain't seen you in 2 months, sir. Ain't seen you in 2 months for a convoy. But now that lieutenant colonel's standing in the corner, you're all here geared up with your helmet and everything. Now you're ready to go on mission, huh? Right. Right. The fuck out of here, sir. You're so useless, it's not even funny. Like, we don't need you, okay? We don't need you. Stay in your office, which is what I know you really want to do. We don't need you. We will never need you for anything unless we get into trouble. And then you are basically help. Actually, you're not even help. You're the person that's going to call for fucking help, because then actual help will show up in the form of helicopters, right? You still won't actually be of actual service. So go away, dog. Go away. But nope, you're going to go on mission with us. And you're going to make our mission hella fucking annoying. We have a way of doing things, but nope, here you come with all your ideas that you learned in college, I suppose. Just my experience with officers, man, for the exception of like maybe 3. Useless, worthless. Just a wasted uniform, dog. A wasted uniform. Insane. You know how much more alcohol I could buy is if you paid me more and just got rid of their fucking rank altogether? Jesus. You know how many fucking strippers I could put through college if you stopped giving all this fucking money to these worthless officers that don't do anything? Right. Okay. We're gonna do the next one, which is terminated. What is it again? The vetting process for Marine officers, I feel, is probably better than the Army's. I don't know, man. Okay. Well. I'm gonna go smoke before we start this. I didn't realize we'd get to a point where it was just gonna be like 2 video streams, but that might be what it is. Oh, it still showed up even though it's all fucked up and jacked up. Where is it? Where in the Discord did you put it? Terminator, what's it called, man? I can't find it. I'm tired of looking. I see David's. There's the most recent one there, and then most recent one I see is Vince's. And Jake, I don't see anything about you. While you figure it out, Terminated, we'll take a smoke break. I looked in both places. I didn't see anything. So, I don't know, man. I'll let you figure it out. I have for certain the utmost faith in you that you'll do it. That you'll put it in a place in Discord to where I can see it. Because I've checked the only two places where it could quite possibly exist, and it's not there. But I do believe in you, Terminated. Wholeheartedly. With all of my being, my soul. It's crazy because I don't have much of that left. So. Fucking Shia LaBeouf the shit out of that shit and just do it. Never mind. I haven't rolled anything. I haven't broke anything down. I can't go smoke at all. Fuck me. Do that right now. I guess we can start this while I do this. Here's why you don't threaten your neighbor with an AR-15. And I'm assuming that every single second of this 45 minutes is important. Is there like key points that you could point at? You're probably waiting on, you probably didn't have seen it yet. Or maybe you have. Alright. Well, I did want to upload some. I did want to upload to YouTube, but I'm not uploading any of this. You know how long that's gonna take me to fucking edit? I hope y'all enjoyed these reactions on stream. These are not going as a video on YouTube. Book that. Here's why you don't threaten your neighbor with an AR-15. Because they can kill you. Or cops are gonna come and kill you. I feel like whatever lesson is to be learned in this video, I already know, but... And then after this we have Fat Electrician, which is alright. May have to wait till tomorrow. I guess. It's... Alright. There's a condensed version that's like 10 minutes, but... Nah, right? I kind of figure you're going to say no to that, so I'm not even going to read chat.
But you tired of sky-high electricity bills. With Convert Solar's new lease, you can ditch the big upfront costs and start saving from day one.
Big screen, little screen. Come on. Probably big screen, right? So y'all can see this shit. Little me. Alright. I'll do it. Bet. God damn it.
Suspiciously, it wouldn't take long.
Why, bro? Why do you do this? Just...
I would assume they have a rifle. This is the Appleton Police Department. You are considered already dangerous. You are under arrest.
Very early in the morning on April 10th, 2023, officers from the Appleton Police Department in Wisconsin were approached by a man during a routine traffic stop. The man who approached the officers was unrelated to the stop. It is reported that the man asked the officers if they were wearing level 4 plates. Officers interpreted this as a particular type of body armor that would protect them from rifle or handgun rounds. According to officers recounting the situation, when they inquired as to why they were being asked about their body armor, the suspect responded by saying, "You'll find out." Reportedly, after this incident, the suspect circled the block in his
Never mind.
vehicle and acted suspiciously. It wouldn't take long after the stop for officers to receive reports of shots fired in the area. Police suspected a particular household, which happened to be the same home the suspicious individual lived in. It wouldn't come as a surprise that this individual has quite an extensive rap sheet, with several charges for disorderly conduct, resisting arrest, 4th-degree sexual assault, bail jumping, operating while revoked, criminal trespassing, substantial battery, and more from over a dozen known interactions with police. Officers start surrounding the area silently with their local SWAT team, being just past 3 o'clock in the morning.
But when he gets gunned the fuck down, Mama's gonna be like, my baby wouldn't hurt a motherfucking fly. He wouldn't hurt anything, mind you. He don't even use Purell because he don't want to harm that precious bacteria. Right.
The officers had to work with an unfamiliar, low-visibility environment. Officers have to stay hidden by utilizing neighbors' backyards and avoiding the streets. These officers certainly did not anticipate this happening late on Easter Sunday. However, this task comes with some unexpected surprises. Watch, as you'll see real-life SWAT team operations like you've never seen them before.
Go hot with body cam.
So what you're saying is police operations go extra fucking hard on Easter Sunday. Bet. Fantastic.
Get someone go for me. Stay tight on me, guys, because I'm your shield. It's that White House right there. Let's back up then, figure out what we got before we're right in the intersection. Or at least get eyes. Do you want to try to go this way and then around?
I like that better for angles of fire and more cover, potentially.
Front stoop. We're on the front stoop.
Wait, I'm so fucking confused. Hold on. So the guy... He threatened his neighbor with an AR-15, and his neighbor called the cops on this house, which is... But didn't you already have a conversation with this man? And he was like, I hope y'all got level 4 plates. Maybe I wasn't paying attention. Whatever. It doesn't matter.
Okay, someone let dispatch know so our other guys know.
We're working to get in a better position right now. I cannot see that far at all. It's too dark. It really depends on if these backyards are open. If we could get closer or not to get a better view. Like, I see what I think is the house, but...
I guess I don't like that walking down the road.
No, I would go through backyards.
You want to try that?
I don't want to go through the sidewalk at all.
Okay. Meet in Wisconsin with an extra shield. Okay.
I don't want to see y'all playing it, bro. I want to see y'all kill this fucking guy.
I mean, the other one, keep full awareness. Yeah. Again, these guys...
I just don't want to poke my head around the corner and take one to the...
Yeah. No, for sure.
Head on a swivel, basic.
9201, you've got 3 officers coming from your south. If you hear noise, that's us coming from the south. I know, without knowing like what your cover's like. I mean, yeah, you have houses to cover, but I don't want to get like right on top of them.
Yeah, I'd say right here then at McCunty.
Like into the...
Yeah. You good with that?
Yeah. And I don't want to peek, because I would assume they have a rifle.
We're like, I don't know, 10 houses south. Thor said he saw 2 people sitting on the porch.
Speed advisor, we saw the truck emerge from one road north of Jardin, go north on Owaissa, and stop. Now it's slow rolling north on Owaissa from Wisconsin.
Too many weird things going on, man.
I have not felt this uncomfy in a while.
Terminator, there's no way, bro. Can I please fast forward to something that, like, I don't know, is even remotely exciting? Or, like, come on, man, please? Can I please fast forward to something... To something? You know what I mean? Like... And let me just go back to the beginning, because, like, why...
I would assume they have a rifle.
This is the Appleton Police Department. You are considered armed and dangerous. You are under arrest.
Very early in the morning on April 10th, 2023, officers from the Appleton Police Department in Wisconsin were approached by a man during a routine traffic stop. The man who approached the officers was unrelated to the stop. It is reported that the man asked the officers if they were wearing level 4 plates. Officers interpreted this as a particular type of body armor that
And then from right there, you just let him go?
would protect them from rifle or handgun rounds. According to officers recounting the situation, when they inquired as to why they were being asked about their body armor, the suspect responded by saying, "You'll find out."
And you chose to do nothing about this person, and you just let them leave? That's the equivalent of walking into a bank and asking, "So how's the security system here?" And the person says, "Why would you like to know that?" And they say, "You'll find out." That sounds like a goddamn robbery, man. Like, I don't even know what y'all are doing and why you just ignore this person.
Reportedly, after this incident, the suspect circled the block in his vehicle and acted suspiciously. It wouldn't take long after the stop for officers to receive reports of shots fired in the area. Police suspected a particular household, which happened to be the same home the suspicious individual lived in.
Okay, cool. I got it now. Roger. But I'm still skipping past all this shit right here. Because it literally shows me nothing. They're just, well, it shows something. They're just maneuvering, but I don't want to see maneuvers. I want to see bullets going inside faces. Or at least something to that effect that gets my blood going a little more than just like walking through the woods. Or walking through someone's backyard. I understand that they're establishing a perimeter. They're getting everything going. I know, all that shit's in my head. I don't need to see it. Well, fuck me. That's fantastic. At least I finished breaking that.
He's got a guy pointing straight in the Give commands now. Male exited front porch. Display a long rifle. Front doors open. Juvenile with male.
Okay, cool. I can start it right here.
Once the gun is fired, the officers can now know for sure which house the gunshots are coming from. This also changes the situation to a much more active scenario. Officers call in a SWAT team and aerial visuals at this time. At this point, the officers have been scouting the area for around an hour.
That's a gun. That's a gun.
Announce it basic.
He's got a gun pointing straight in the Give commands now. Male exited front porch. Display a long rifle. Front doors open.
I don't know why the repeated he's got a gun when, I mean, maybe I just didn't have context for that clip, but like, yeah, man, that he's not letting off Roman candles, that's for sure.
Juvenile with male. Hey, you have eyes on him? You have shot?
That officer flinched like crazy.
Shot was fired from the front of the porch. Could you see where?
Straight up in the air at the drone. Another shot's gonna come out.
What's he doing?
He's aiming it straight in the air. I don't know.
He's trying to shoot your drone.
Eventually, the suspect appears to be targeting the drone itself.
Yeah.
It is unknown if the suspect was aware this is a police drone, or even if he is aware his home is surrounded by officers at this point.
He's not juvenile than a female.
How old do you think the kid was? Like under 5?
No, 11 or 12, maybe. Like, kid didn't seem afraid of guys.
And these people in the White House are active. I need to tell them to stay inside right now. Cool. Blue, blue, blue. No, I was coming over to tell them to stay inside. Yep, they're going to the basement. Okay. Are you Tim's guy? Alright. Just so you're aware, there's 2 other of our guys, just straight ahead. We've got shield and rifle there.
Basically, I gotta run back to my squad. It's gonna be a minute. It's about too fucking far.
So the light to the right room, or that right window, that one has been on.
It's gonna be daylight soon and this is gonna get hanky.
Yeah, they're gonna see us. I feel like we can't really retreat back to any other better cover. The child was with the female. It's like female and child stepped out, and so I didn't actually see like if they went in right after him or what they were doing.
Okay.
It sounded like they were just kind of looking at the drone, and then when he presented.
It didn't look like he was moving them around like they were helping him to win.
The other 2 guys didn't mention anything like that.
As the morning approaches, unaware civilians are added to this already dangerous situation.
Oh.
Is that alright? Can I run?
Oh, where are you trying to go?
I'm gonna go right.
I would maybe go back around Wisconsin. We have this shut down for a reason.
Okay.
I can't get into it, sorry.
No, that's alright. I want to notice you there.
Oh, that's a good thing.
Don't do that. The vehicle is unrelated. It did not come from the target house.
I think he's trying to get out of here.
10-4. Be advised, all units, the door just open and shut. Right now, we're being lit up like a Christmas tree.
Here's why you don't threaten your neighbor with an AR-15. I wish it would have said, here's what happens when you threaten your neighbor with an AR-15. A whole lot of nothing for a really long fucking time.
Try to move and see what it looks like.
Really, truly. A whole lot of fucking nothing for a really long time.
There you are. Yeah, I'm gonna leave the driveway. Yeah, I can see the front door, but it's gonna expose me too much.
I know it's not nothing. They're making moves. They're doing shit. They're being active. It's just like, from my perspective, nothing's happening.
Yeah, we could suck back a little bit. Yeah. Into the shade, maybe a little more.
Completely agree. I like that way better.
Stop, 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 stop. Back up, back up. Back up.
Back up?
Yeah, you can't go down this way.
Oh, I can't go down here either?
No.
Okay.
Sorry.
No, it's okay.
Sorry about that.
Oh. Yeah, I wanted to go through this way. Is there a way you can go that way and go like up Lenawa versus down?
Sure.
All right, sorry about that.
Do you see any movement in the driveway? There's a faint light that I'm seeing by the front vehicle on the driver's side. Hey, announce rear light just came on, Rudy.
It's like a half window on the door, and you can see shit.
Terminated, there's no way, bro. I can't. I gotta fast forward to something that's like, that happens. I have to. I can't, bro. I can't. Hold on. Bearcat deployed, neighborhood surprise, yeah, fuck all that. You should have just gave me like a 20-minute timestamp right here. Bearcat deployed. Like, I feel like we're watching nothing, dog. Literally nothing. I'm sorry, but I have to fast forward. There's no way.
Cold.
It's already 10 trillion years long. I have to.
Anyone can recharge their car's AC. Like a pro. Be a pro with AC Pro.
In the fight for change in our care costs, fought corporate monopoly, our utility bills, and will stand up to Trump and status quo politicians who block change.
Officers once again reposition themselves to prepare for the next tactical maneuver.
Moving. Can I hold this real quick so I get another round?
Are you in front of you with the shields?
Yeah. See if I can try to rest this so I get a better rest it down. I'm good right there. Just rest it on the ground. I'm good with that. This is perfect. Just hold it stable for me.
You said your mom was waiting to pick up your kids?
Yeah.
Where's she waiting? Is she here yet or no?
No, I told her not to come. She freaks out easy, so.
Okay.
She'll freak out.
Hopefully we're done here shortly. But we're...
Oh my gosh, the SWAT team's here? Yeah, my parents are like, you're in the news.
I guess best recommendation is probably just wait then.
Yeah,
until
I'm going
everything's completely safe.
With the Bearcat prepped and officers in an offensive position, the SWAT team send out a message over a megaphone.
Somebody peeking out. Careful. Watch out. What the flip side is somebody peeking out. Hey. Slide up.
After just over 4 hours of the police surrounding the suspect's house, he finally makes an appearance by walking out his front door, seemingly unarmed.
Could we double check and put a page out to Appleton K9 to see if one of them can come in? I'll be out of position if we need it.
Yeah. Front door contact, he nails out.
Coming to you, Bruce.
Yep.
Sorry, take a half step back.
This is gonna be our suspect.
Keep walking.
Taxi, yes,
Come on down.
Down to the sidewalk.
We're not approaching.
I didn't know what's going on. Like, I'm confused as hell. Like,
Keep on coming down. We'll talk.
how far? Just onto the sidewalk.
All the way down to the sidewalk, please.
Hit him with the 40 right now.
They might not have it.
So my partners here, they told you twice, man. Okay, they told you twice that when you get down here, we'll talk about it. Okay.
Eventually, the suspect walks out the front door but is argumentative, claiming that he has no clue why the officers are at his house.
I just have a hard time hearing from a distance. So my name's John. You're Tori, you said? Tori? Good to meet you, okay? Thank you for coming out. So there's so many of us here because we know that there was a gun and we know that there were shots being fired. It seems like it was coming from this address. That's why we're here to talk to you. I tell you what, is everybody okay in the house? Okay, good. Very good.
He's gonna go back in the house. If he turns around to go back in, he wants the 40. What do you think?
Yeah. Thank you.
Your 40's over here, buddy.
Yep. Okay, but don't walk towards the house, okay?
Go ahead. Hey, don't let him go back in that house.
So, Tori, eventually we're going to have to kind of sort out what all happened in the area. But right now our focus is on just making sure you're okay, making sure everybody else is okay. And really, very seriously, thank you for coming out.
What's the whole work? If you had transmission for me, I missed it.
That really helps out a lot.
I'm just walking towards the sidewalk.
Okay, just walk down to the end of the sidewalk here.
Keep walking, man.
Okay, well just walk here towards this one of the ones. If that helps you come back here, yeah, you can do that. You can go ahead and zip that up. You're cold. Okay, put hands out of your pockets though, okay? I know you showed us, but just don't put hands in your pockets, okay, man?
Got a 5.56 real hand with a silencer with a brake on it. At the same time, with his wires bloody like him and the three officers, two other officers over there have sight on you. That's my question.
Okay, well thank you for helping out so far, Tori.
I'd like you to just walk over here.
Yeah, just come over here, Tori. Why can't you? I don't want.
Please don't do that.
Please don't do that.
Don't have pockets.
Okay.
Corey, what's stopping you from coming over here by me?
What's bringing you guys here is like, I'm confused. That's what's stopping me from coming there. Because of confusion. As a black man, as a homeowner in a black man, a homeowner in a white neighborhood, and I'm not what?
Yeah, well, Tori, like I said, we know that there was some gunshots before, and we just have to be very careful.
I have nothing.
I appreciate that.
Why are you guys inside of my yard? Making a lot of noise. Embarrassing inappropriate behavior. Will you guys literally tell me what you guys are?
Yeah, Katai, I noticed that too. There's like a whole bunch of really nice houses around, and then his is like the most decrepit, ugly looking one. Yeah.
So, Tori, right now, our number one goal is to make sure you're okay and everybody inside the house is okay. That's our number one goal for being here. Now, eventually, we're going to have to look into why a gunshot was fired, and we don't have all the details on that yet. We're not going to draw conclusions on that right now, but we just need to make sure everybody's safe first. Can you just come over here by us so we can kind of move this forward a little bit?
So, can you tell me why they haven't been over my house for the last 4 hours?
Is that a little helicopter thing?
Is that a question I can ask?
Yeah, that's ours so that we can see from the sky. Sounds right.
Black Hawk above Sheriff. What right now?
Well, right now you're about the safest person in the world because you got us all here to help you out.
Okay. It's like first entertaining thing I've heard in the past. Well, since this video's been playing. He's like, I got Black Hawks flying above me. Motherfucker, that's a drone. And last time I checked, your name is not Pablo Escobar. We're not wasting money on a Black Hawk on you. Who are you? Anyways. Is something amazing, funny, cool, or despicable gonna happen sometime soon? Because if we're just gonna watch them have a conversation, bro, come on. This is leading somewhere, I'm assuming, right? Otherwise, you wouldn't title it like this. Right? Terminated? I swear to God, if you fell asleep. And you got me here watching police officers just like have a Sunday conversation with this man, and nothing's gonna happen. I'm be fucking mad.
I copy. Right now, we're still being argumentative. So you think that's the person that has gunshots coming from here?
We know it came from this house.
So everybody else that's around me that are literally gunned over.
Sorry, it came from this house. So who's inside the house right now?
Y'all have no evidence of who you were. If I walk back into my house, if I were to be fired upon when I walk back to my house, even though you can't physically show me proof of anything that I've done.
Get the same trusted Lysol disinfection that now has a scent that'll make you move. Effortlessly kill.
Terminated, you haven't answered my question. No? Okay.
Yeah, we took shots at the drone earlier. That's going to happen a lot.
This back and forth goes on for roughly 40 minutes before officers make a move to apprehend him, using 2 rubber bullet rounds and a K-9 officer.
We got action, ladies and gentlemen. 73 years later.
Nothing. No reaction. Bending over a little bit. There goes Doug. He's down. He's down. Bearcat's moving. Back up. Dog's on bite. Bearcat's moving. Dog's on bite. We got him back. Everyone's behind armor. Correct.
Thanks.
Once the officers apprehend the man, they still have to lure out the remaining residents in the household.
These are potential people that are inside.
You copy that?
All right, we got a snow bunny coming out. Snow bunny coming out. Do not shoot.
Ma'am, keep your hands up. Keep coming to us.
My stepson's still in there.
Okay. Come to us, please. Keep your hands up. Keep walking us.
Stay with him.
Walk towards us.
Keep walking towards us.
Guys, stop there. Stop there. Stop there. Ma'am, you walk to us, okay? Son, stay there.
Pull her back.
All right, come to me, man. Come to the right. Come right here, okay?
The officers still need to lure out the suspect's 12-year-old son. In the meantime, they've taken the suspect away from the scene to question him further.
So what we're going to do is we're going to let you out. We're going to do a search of you. Okay. They did a search for weapons. We're going to do a full search.
All right.
And
I got my friend's fucking clothes on, so I just...
Okay. And then one of my supervisors is going to come over here and talk to you, okay? I'm not going to talk to you about the incident at all. I just want to make sure that everything's out of your pockets, okay?
Oh, yeah, no, you good.
All right, appreciate you, my man.
They're not my pockets, they're not my clothes. So I was shot twice and attacked by a dog.
So what we're going to do is we're going to turn around, okay?
It's cold, brother.
Yeah, I'll put it back in. I just got to make sure.
He was like, damn, this is not how I thought my day was going to go. But, I mean, I doubt that this is a case of, like, police being dickheads to the black man. You were shooting your gun, dog, in a residential neighborhood, and you shot it at a drone. So, like, you discharged your weapon in a residential neighborhood, which most people will call the police for. And the people that called the police, they probably didn't even say, yeah, it's that black guy down the street. No, they just said that they heard gunshots in the neighborhood. Naturally, police are going to respond. And they responded. They waited a little while. They saw that it was you that was popping off with the gun, shooting at the drone. And I'm sure the drone will see you taking shots at it. And so this seems like one of the most standard arrests I've ever seen. There wasn't blood. That canine attack was lackluster as fuck. No taser. No one died. Fuck you even request this for? Anyways.
Sure ain't nothing up in there, okay?
You know I feel fucking disrespected, right? And embarrassed.
Okay. I'm going to ask you a medical question.
I am hurting.
You got dog bit, okay? Which arm was it on? Left or right?
On dog bit or being shot by one of your... Or not one of yours. But being shot, I got shot twice.
What do you mean shot with what?
One with the fucking... What do you call it?
Okay.
Where were you bit by the dog?
Yeah, because I think...
The police dog?
Yeah, I think it's this
I'm
one.
not going to harm the police dog.
Where were you bit?
Yeah.
Here, there you go.
On this hand?
And then I grabbed. Shooting me with anything in front of my children when y'all had no reason to. Okay. Unless you can show me.
This is the GM.
I like
What's your first name, buddy?
What's your first name?
What's your first name?
And yours, sir?
Mine's Ryan. And I'm Lucas.
Lucas.
Tori.
You are?
Tori, nice to meet you, Tori. Okay, who's all in the house yet?
My family. They're frightened from the whole situation.
For sure.
Not only that you guys sent the dog on me, but you also shot me. Not you yourself. Not you yourself.
I get it. Okay.
And embarrassed the hell out of us in front of all of our neighbors without even any evidence or even proof of anything. Like, I don't even know why.
Well, that could be a discussion. We'll have some people talk to you about
That's
that.
fine.
Okay.
So I have no more answers for you. I'm sorry, sir.
All right. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Very seems like a very respectful dude when it comes to law enforcement. I don't know, man. Show me the how do you even do this? Right? So he discharged his weapon, which no one can really prove, right? And the only way you could prove that he discharged his weapon at all is if you pulled footage from the drone, because they said he did take shots at the drone. So none of the neighbors could really prove what house it was coming from. It was the cops that figured out what house it was coming from. But, I mean, what do you do from here? What do you do after the fact? The guns are in the house, I'm assuming. Did you check the house for guns? I don't know, man. Do you even have probable cause to search this man's home? Yeah, you think it was him, but can you prove it was him? Unless you have that drone footage. And if the drone footage doesn't show much, then it's just a case of something the neighbor said, something you observed, that still, at the end of the day, without a shadow of a doubt, cannot be proven. Right? I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Who knows? I was expecting something out of, like, fucking Doom or something, but this is just like, you're kind of regular.
Help me out, brother. What do you need? My hat.
Oh, dude, kind of reminds me of Orlando Brown, but just like less crazy. Really, a little bit. Mannerisms, kind of even the way he looks a little bit.
Down over the ears. That's my bad, dog.
Hey, I respect y'all shit.
Before long, the youngest son finally leaves the household.
You got contact?
He's coming out the front.
Towards them.
The hood.
Your hands.
Hey, right over here, buddy. Are you hurt at all?
No.
No? Okay. I know you said your feet are cold. We'll try to get you to a squad, okay?
Seat right here. Okay, and then I'll go grab your mom, and she's gonna come with us.
You'll all go together, just in different squads, okay?
No. No, don't do that.
Is there anybody else in the house?
No.
Is anybody hurt in the house?
No.
Would you give us permission to go in and make sure that nobody's hurt in the house?
Go ahead. There's nobody in there.
You live here?
Yeah.
What's your name? You live at this house,
Yes,
and we
I
can
do.
go in there and make sure nobody's hurt.
But nobody's in there.
Okay.
2 dogs, and then you said they're in the bathroom?
Connor said they're in the bathroom, and then the cats are in the kennel.
Probably another squad right following you.
Why am I getting taken?
Because there was a situation that happened here where possible gunshots were
Okay,
fired.
I was sleeping. I don't
I
know
understand that, but we don't know your involvement, so you're just going to be detained until we figure that out.
Hey, ma'am.
We're gonna go to the other side, okay?
Ma'am, what?
Where is the firearm?
I don't know. There isn't one. I don't know about one.
Ma'am, I need you to be honest because I've been here since the initial. I watched
I don't
them
know
walk
about
out.
a gun.
Okay.
I don't know.
What kind of gun would be inside that
I
house?
have no idea.
Okay. They're all saying no.
Police is gonna look really bad here if there's no firearm inside of this house. But again, what was it that they heard then? Couldn't have been another neighbor because they would have tracked it to that person's house, but they tracked it to this house. They followed the sounds. These officers aren't stupid. They're gonna know where gunfire is coming from. Check the drone, bro. And if there's a gun in there, you're fucked. And if you are shown on the drone footage shooting at the drone, you're screwed there too.
Yeah.
But if not, then the cops just look bad here.
I'm going back to grab him as soon as I drop you off. We're just going right here, okay?
If you do not announce yourself and comply, we cannot guarantee your safety. This is the Appleton Police Department. K-9 unit will be deployed.
Officers continue their announcements as they wait for a search warrant. In the meantime, police have been able to deduce that the suspect was out with his neighbor when he interacted with the officer's traffic stop. The officers ask the roommate of the neighbor if he is available for a talk.
Ready to lose the hat and regrow the hair? With Choose by Hims, you can regain your hair and your confidence. Our chews are powered by clinically proven ingredients like monogamy.
Or you can just be a cool-ass bald guy.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. If you guys didn't search that car, they were driving that last night right before the incident.
Would Andy be willing to come and talk to us?
He might. He's more friends with Tori than I am. Ever since his dog ate me, we don't...
Yeah, those are rough dogs, man.
Yeah, well, yeah,
They're scared to go down.
The one that he had prior to that, Navy guy had to shoot him in the head. The dog was trying to drag me under the fence.
Holy crap.
But yeah, it got me good.
Oh, yeah, it got you good.
So yeah, let me...
Okay.
And we had a couple drinks downtown, and we came back here. We were hanging out for a while, and I ended up going to bed. I was supposed to have a doctor's appointment this morning, but
okay,
you guys had everything kind of...
Yeah, everything was shut down. Was there anybody else with you?
Nope, it was us two.
Just the two of you?
Yeah. I mean, we knew people out and about while we were out at the bar, but...
Here's the circumstance. Like, he's a felon, and it's... He had a firearm. Did you hear the gun go off?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you see it go off? And we're not trying, if you're not like directly involved in what was going on, we're not trying to
insert you into this. You know what I'm saying?
Well, right. I don't want to be
You
inserted
veteran,
into
just
it.
out of curiosity?
No.
Okay, so
Grew up in a military family.
Military
Dad,
family?
17 years in the Navy.
Okay.
Cousin's still in the Air Force right now.
All right. Well, I'm just going to ask if there's any reason that the firearm would have been turned over to you. Now's like the time where it's like the get out of jail free card.
If I have it?
Yeah.
I don't have it, no.
Okay.
I have my own, but not his.
Okay, what did he fire?
Huh?
What did he shoot when he shot the gun?
It was a rifle, I remember.
Okay. Was it an AR?
Something along those lines.
Have you ever seen it before?
Yeah.
So what's your relationship to Tori? It's my fiance. It's your fiance? How long you guys been together?
He got drunk and popped off a few rounds in a residential neighborhood. That's what it sounds like. I think. Maybe. Let's see how this thriller continues to unfold.
Almost 8 years, but I've known him since I was 10.
Okay.
A long time.
Okay, a long time, right? So do you know if he's used drugs in the past?
I know he used to smoke.
Used to
Like
like weed?
smoke, but that's
Okay. You guys both smoke weed together?
that's about it.
Okay.
I don't think of that as a
Neither do I.
drug.
So
Nobody
neither,
does.
neither of us. So,
The only people that do are stuffy old white dudes in Washington.
so no hard drugs, no methamphetamine.
Not that I know of.
Okay. Okay. So he
We got
doesn't.
kids in the house.
If you haven't found any coke, you better keep looking.
Any coke?
He's kind of a known coke dealer. In fact, I was looking when I parked over here and was kind of dozing. I was looking, there's some of his customers that were lined up here.
Were they really?
I'm like, what are you idiots? What are you?
How did you learn about his drug dealing activities?
He's offered it to me.
Oh, okay.
So, I got some good stuff in there. And I know some people who buy it from me.
Is that anything that you've ever shared with our drug unit or anybody like that?
No, I keep my nose out of it. He's my neighbor, so.
That's a smart guy. I wouldn't say anything, but I also wouldn't get in your way. Man, that not with drug dealers. I'm not getting in your way. If anything, I'll just say something quietly. I'm not saying anything to you, man. Hell no. Hey, that's how you get fucked up.
And I know he has guns, so yeah.
Exactly. That's
You're looking out for your safety first.
I just want to be a good neighbor, that's all.
According to
If police ask you, you say something, but you don't. It's the equivalent of like if you work retail, you don't confront a thief, bro. Just let him take it. It's not worth your life.
the police reports, officers found a small plastic baggie within the home which a field test determined to be cocaine.
Oh, yeah. And you have a child in the house? It doesn't even matter how old he is. Well, if he was 18, whatever, but I think the child was like 12 years old, they said? Yeah, you can't have that specific item. Well, first, you can't have that specific item, period. Damn sure can't have it in the vicinity of children.
He drinks a lot more, so he does a lot of loose cannon shit.
Does he work?
He did. I don't think he has in a couple months now.
Okay.
Well, I mean,
Well, I know he's selling drugs.
That's
he has,
pretty lucrative.
He has money, but
After some time, the police eventually get a search warrant. Immediately, there is clear evidence of a gun being fired, as spent casings are found on the perimeter of the house.
Yeah, this guy's so fucked. I was getting ready to give him the benefit of the doubt just a little bit, but he's fucked. Really. And the thing is he doesn't even seem like a genuinely bad guy either. His interaction with police was cordial. He was nice, respectful. He's just, he toes the line a little bit when it comes to law, right? He's got a girl. He's got a kid. Taking care of stuff, I guess. I guess he takes care of them, but he can't be selling cocaine. So even if they don't do anything with a gun charge here, even if they don't have enough, which they do, the casings, they'll probably find the gun in that house. Even if they didn't find the gun or they didn't find the casings, well, they just found the cocaine. But then again, how does the law work whenever they go in to find something, don't find that thing, but find something else? They can still take you to jail, can they? It's not like, oh, we're checking for guns, we found no guns, but you have cocaine, but because the warrant didn't say we were looking for cocaine, we can't arrest you for cocaine. Is that the way that works? Or can they just, even if they didn't find a gun or casings, they could still take his ass for the cocaine, right? Even though cocaine wasn't explicitly said or stated in the warrant as for things to look for. Right? I don't know. And to be honest, I don't even know why I inquired. I don't care that much.
They find nobody else in the household. However, the officers are having trouble finding an important key item, the actual rifle itself.
Is Tori a felon?
I don't think so.
Okay. What was the last thing he was?
You are the fiance and you don't know if he's a felon or not? I don't think so. What kind of fucking answer is that? And you're the fiance. You're getting ready to marry this man. And you don't know without a shadow of a doubt his... That's why you're dating Tori. Really, for the most part. You kind of an idiot, girl.
Arrested for, do you know?
Drinking and driving.
Drinking and driving. Did he go to jail for that?
Not the last time, no.
Okay, what was the last thing he went to jail for?
Playing Pokemon Go on the corner on a bike, and a cop came, drove past him, whipped a U-turn, pulled him over in the parking lot while he's sitting on his bike and said that he doesn't have lights on.
Okay.
They said that he...
Wow, you remember this Pokemon story very, very, very in detail. But you don't know whether or not he had a fucking gun in the house and you live with this man? You lying ass. This Pokemon story has like, it's almost like a fucking arc. Like this is the third act, right? You remember that shit in extreme detail. And then when it comes to the shit that's in your, I don't know what's in there. I think I might have a kid in there. I think we might have dogs in the bathroom. Maybe there's some expired milk in the fridge. I couldn't tell you, officer. But yes, that one time playing Pokemon on the street corner of 5th and Main, that cop got him for the lights.
Gave him a wrong name because the cop heard Corey.
Okay.
And they took him.
Okay. Did he have a warrant or something?
I don't know.
We just did a search warrant. We've got a bomb detecting dog coming.
When it comes to telling the truth, you don't know shit. But when it comes to telling lies, oh my god, you can weave a fantastical story.
So it sniffs out like gunpowder and things like that. So we're gonna let it go through the house. We tore the house apart pretty good. But obviously, like, we're asking because we haven't found the gun yet, and we know that the gun was discharged. We got it on video and all that stuff. So again,
where could he have possibly put this shit if he didn't give it to a neighbor? Bro, it's a rifle. You can't flush that shit down the toilet. You can't even flush a pistol down the toilet. Fuck you mean? And when police look through shit, bro, they look. Believe you me. Well, I believe them when they say they looked.
and he's your buddy, and I'm not trying to put this on you or anything like that, but us being in the position that we're at, that's why we're here talking to you. And if he handed it off to you and just like, hey, I'm a felon, just now is like that time where it's like,
I don't have it at all.
You a felon?
Nope.
Okay.
Were you with him when he stopped by the traffic stop?
The reason he asked him if he was a felon, because guess what? If you're a felon, if I'm not mistaken, police don't need a warrant, nor do they even need permission to search your shit. He's like, no, I don't have the gun. Are you a felon? Because had he said yes, he would have been like, okay, cool. I don't even believe you. I'm checking your house. Cool. I'm glad you told me that.
Yeah, some officers were down there, and he apparently walked up
that
on
was this way.
Okay, that was down there?
Yep.
Were you with him?
Yep.
Okay. And what did he say to the officers when he was stopped?
We just drove past, and what do you say? I'm gonna go back and make sure that the dude's all right. The dude who got pulled over.
Okay.
You know? Guessing maybe he was a black guy. I think it was a black guy. He says, "Oh, you know, I'm gonna go make sure he's all right." Because there's like 2 or 3 squads behind him. And I went inside, and then when I saw him when he got back, he was walking the sidewalk, and I peeked out to see if he was there. And we were just gonna hang out like we normally do, you know. Drink another couple beers, you know. Still got the 12 pack in my truck.
Yeah, what was he saying?
I keep myself out of that, but he just said, "I want to go make sure my brother's cool." My brother's cool. I said, "All right, cool."
Okay. What does that mean to you?
I don't know, man.
Means what you see on the news every day. Black guy getting pulled over.
Okay.
You know, that's why I took it at, and if that's what he wants to do, then that's what he wants to do. You know, I'm not. Has nothing to do with me.
Yeah, he's been becoming a little bit more of a loose cannon, so I kind of saw
like
this coming.
recently, or what?
Yeah.
In what ways?
He's like, I think the traffic stop that he had to get out and settle something.
Like with
I
the
guess
police?
that's what Andy said. But you know, he's big on Black Lives Matter. if you're black and driving a car with your rifle and you're getting pulled over, and
just that kind of mentality.
And it's starting to.
I kind of gathered that mentality from the very beginning, because he was like, at the very beginning, he was like, as a black man, as a homeowner, and in my head, I was like, here we go. But then they put him in handcuffs, they put him in the car, and like his whole demeanor changed. He was like, I like you guys, I support you guys, and when you... I've never heard anyone that supports BLM be like, I like you guys, I support you guys. Is he BLM? Because most of the BLM people I see, they fucking despise police officers. But once he was in handcuffs, his whole demeanor changed. Not to say that he was like rude, he barely even resisted. That dog didn't have to do much. But his whole demeanor changed, like, and he was friendly, he was cordial, he was answering questions. Not well, but neighbors definitely have different shit to say about him. I don't even know why his neighbors would lie. So
I don't know, escalate a little bit.
I woke up when the intercom was going off.
Okay. You said you heard the gun go off though. So like when was that?
Like I said, had to have been somewhere around 3:30.
Okay.
Had to have been somewhere right about there.
Because our officer watches him discharge the firearm. And there's already drones flying up around here at that point.
There was no cops in front of his house when I was over there.
Now, is there any potential that when our dog gets here that it's gonna come over to this?
Oops. I was over there.
Okay. Did you fire the gun at all?
The big question is, what were you there when he was shooting the rounds off? Okay.
Sorry, the sun was coming.
Yeah. Were you there when he was shooting the rounds off? And two, did he give you the gun after?
I was there when the rounds went off.
oh my god. Ugh. Police exhaust me sometimes, bro. You've asked this man the same question 4 fucking times. I know why you do it. I know why you do it. I know why you ask the same question in a different way 4 times in a row. Phrased and structured differently with different words going in front and just replacing certain words and saying it in a different order. Right? Because you're like, god damn, man, give it up. He doesn't have it.
But I do not have the gun.
Not to mention, he's a felon. Not to mention, the federal agencies are probably going to get involved in this whole thing. Okay? So, once you start talking about federal agencies, then that's out of our hands. Anything happens after today...
Cool, you can't scare me because I'm innocent.
Federally is out of our hands.
And I didn't know that he's a felon. I know that he had a bunch of trouble, but...
I didn't know that he wasn't supposed to have a gun.
A felon. Like I said, we just had a couple drinks, we gambled. You know, he seemed fine. We were bullshitting about normal shit, you know. And maybe that night, because that dude got pulled over, that's why he said, you know, you have nothing to worry about, you know, because I'm a white dude, you know. And we and him go back and forth like that all the time, you know. And it's fine. I'm all right having that debate. You know?
You know, he's fired off shots in the backyard. And he has parties in the summertime and stuff, so.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So it's like a rifle or a handgun?
It's AR-15.
Really?
He's got a couple pistols also.
What did you hear exactly?
There's 2 shots. And then... there's a pause, and then there's a pause, and then a little later there's one more. 4th of July, he probably shot off. I actually can't.
This most recent 4th of July?
At the hospital, the suspect continues his back and forth with the officers.
Are we able to somehow get the jacket off so we can look at those punctures?
You want the jacket off?
Yes. Because I'll need to get vitals.
We want to be able to take the cuffs off.
No. Can we cuff to the bed on one side?
You can cuff my legs. Give them very express instructions that they remain exactly how they are.
Why? You can cuff my legs.
Okay.
You can cuff me to this bed. I don't care. This is
otherwise I
all of my
wouldn't
blood.
do that.
Right. I'm just trying to figure out how to do my job.
Yep.
What number would you rate between 0 to 10?
I think out of all the police videos I've ever seen, this is quite possibly the most boring one. Man.
Is the worst.
For real.
I don't know about you. Tell me 20.
And where are you hurting the most at? The leg, the arm?
The wrist, right out.
The wrist, okay.
He said, out of 10, my pain is at a 20. That's lies, but all right.
That's only because I'm cuffed.
Okay.
Okay. Tori, come on.
I'm not saying that you're faking the pain, but this is a bit.
He's faking the pain, bro. If you're at a 20, you can't speak, you can barely breathe. You're in so much pain that simply the act of speaking will hurt you. That's what a 20 is in my head. A 20 for you is... You're one sensitive ass fucker.
Much. Freaking pain. Can I strap you down?
Here, why don't you sit up though, because it's hard to see it this way. So,
just cut it. Just cut it. Just grab some scissors and cut the whole jacket.
You're okay if we cut the jacket?
I'm okay if these guys are not gonna freaking whatever. Just cut it. So you can, please just cut it. 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 Just cut it.
Are you okay if we cut the jacket?
Yeah, we'll just collect it.
Okay.
I don't want to be that guy.
But at least let her clean it up, and then we can probably get on our way.
Okay. That was everything. Okay. Ma'am, can I walk?
Well, let me just...
Is it because this was in a suburban neighborhood as to why this took 6 hours? That's what it said. It said standoff took 5 hours. 4 or 5. Which is crazy. 5-hour standoff. Man. For quite possibly one of the easiest arrests I think I've ever seen. Dude didn't run. He didn't fight. Like, he didn't even fight the dog. Nothing. Nothing. Just got drunk. He's a known drug dealer in the neighborhood. Got drunk. Popped off a few rounds. Saw a drone. Shot at the drone. Went back inside. Came back outside because cops were there. And he got arrested. All right.
Let me finish.
Oh, sorry, ma'am.
Yeah, let's get this done here.
I just need water. And I'm on the park next to you.
Yeah, don't do that.
That was real rude.
Check 325 Hackberry Hills Road.
Alrighty.
You'll be checking on the airplane's fiance.
There.
He hasn't spoken to her since the location was.
Sorry. You don't have to hold it.
Apparently she was
Are you
drinking
gonna
last
hold it?
night. Should have gotten her item from work,
You're
but
just a regular
never
genius,
made
huh?
What's hurting now? Your what?
My pride.
Your pride?
Well, arm expression on it, but...
Well, at least at the PD you'll be out of the public sign and all that stuff, so you won't have to worry about any of that. So, if you're worried about other people seeing you, if that's what you're talking
I'm
about.
not worried about it, no. I feel real disrespected because of all of everything that's been happening.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Oh, my God. I get a massage.
No.
You're out of your goddamn mind.
That's a good try, though.
I think that's what the jail needs to be able to
They
get
can
it.
maybe keep this for a while, you know?
Well, that's why we printed it, because I'm not sure where you're going to end up. That's not up to me.
You know, this was actually low-key worth it, man. That nurse is thick in all the right places.
I don't know where I'm going to end up either. Hope I end up back home.
In the search, the officers were able to find what they were looking for in a crawl space.
All right.
Their findings consisted of a Diamondback Firearms
There it is.
DB-15 rifle, along with various rounds, including 223 Remington 55 grain full metal jacket rounds, Winchester 45 caliber automatic rounds.
And the thing is that you make no sense, bro. You're so retarded. Like, you're gonna shoot this shit off in a residential neighborhood where obviously someone's gonna call the police and this is gonna happen. Instead of just being like, hey, neighbor who was in the Navy for 17 fucking years, do you know a place, like an empty plot of land that we can go shoot guns? You wanna go shoot guns together? And he's gonna be like, fuck yeah, man, let's go. I got plenty of guns. And then y'all go do that. Moron.
GFL 380 automatic rounds, and PMC 9mm Luger.
Because again, he didn't know that you were a felon. And would he have gotten in trouble had he known that Tory here was a felon, but didn't say anything to the cops? I feel like it's not my place to give you the legal status of someone. You know what I mean? Not only is it not my business, but it's not my place to give you that information. I shouldn't be held liable or even be in trouble for not divulging that information to you if I knew that information to begin with. But whatever.
rounds. Initially, the suspect was charged with 2 felonies, recklessly endangering safety, and possessing a firearm as a convicted felon.
So, not too bad, all things considered. Could have been worse. He could have died. He could have acted out and died, but he didn't. So, not bad. I mean, the whole recklessly endangering safety, that plenty of people get charged with that during like July 4th celebrations because they're idiots and they shoot their guns off into the sky, into the air. Fucking morons, because they have no concept of gravity. And then the firearm as a convicted felon, you'll go to jail, but I don't think you're not going to go to jail for like insanely long. I don't think. You're not going to do 15 years for this, that's for sure.
Along with 1 misdemeanor, resisting arrest. How
Did he really resist all that much, though? That didn't really feel like resisting to me. Then again, I guess if you even flinch too fast in the opposite direction of what the trooper is taking you, then I guess that's considered resisting. Or simply just not adhering to their initial first command. Anything past that is resisting, I guess. And he did stand in the yard for quite a while. It's just, compared to what I'm used to seeing about resisting, he didn't really exhibit those core traits or behaviors during the arrest. But yeah, sure, why not?
However, all these charges by the state were dismissed on the prosecutor's motion, and the case was pushed onto the federal court system, where he would face up to 15 years in prison and a fine of up to $250,000.
Oh my god. Yo, he's got to be the supplier. He's got to be the supplier. Why is the federal court going this hard on a coke dealer? Like, holy shit. Here's why you don't threaten your neighbor with an AR-15. Because the cops are going to get called, figure out you're a coke dealer, and then you're going to go to jail. TLDR. There you go. I'll preface the video with this, in case you didn't want to watch all of it. But goddamn, I didn't think he'd get that much. I didn't think he'd go to the federal level. Jesus. What is it about this guy that makes y'all be like, you know, fuck that, he's going federal? I'm pretty sure you found somebody selling coke yesterday that didn't get this, right? But, hey.
The court sentenced him to a total of 5 years in federal prison and no
Yeah, see? Like I said. But still, what he was facing is astronomical. That's wild. But, alright. Did he really have to go to federal court just to end up with 5 years? Couldn't y'all have given him that at the state level? Or maybe I just don't know the legal system that well. I don't know.
The court sentenced him to a total of 5 years in federal prison, and no monetary fines were imposed.
Please tell me you got comfy seats, man.
It's hard to even be mad at Tori, bro.
Tell me you got some comfy seats. Oh, that's fucking road.
Yeah, they're all the same.
What makes Zaxby's giant chicken?
You gonna have a comfy bed right next to Tyrone, bro. This is what you're gonna have. Sweet baby goddamn Jesus. There was timestamps and everything. I did my own. I wish I would have checked the. It's just that every time I check the description, there isn't timestamps. This is the one, right? This is the one time that I should. Okay. All right. So I did a little bit of complaining during the video because I gotta be honest, it was fucking boring. Okay, everything about this video was boring. However, the video is presented to provide genuine footage of police incidents to promote transparency in government while providing educational, informative, and newsworthy content, allowing viewers to examine and assess public safety material. And that's all well and good. And you know what? That's fantastic. I'm glad y'all do this. However, fucking gone, bro. Gone. That's stellar, but You know what I'm saying? All right. I gotta go. I'll see you tomorrow. That's all we had time for. And I didn't go live till late. I'll be live earlier in the day tomorrow because I ain't got shit to do tomorrow. I know y'all wanted music, but I want to knock out some more variety stuff that we should be able to knock out tomorrow because there's only one long video tomorrow, and that's Fat Electrician. I gotta go. Love y'all. See you tomorrow. If you need anything, at me, DM me.